Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Temperatures are finally warming up here in St. Louis, and while that means more fun in the sun, it could also spell disaster for your lawn. Rain equals spring weeds, and now is the best time to get ahead of it. Green Envy has been here in St. Louis for more than a decade, servicing and treating lawns just like they would their very own. Crabgrass can lay dormant for years until the conditions are right, and the massive amounts of moisture we've had is sure to wake up even the oldest crabgrass seeds. Green Envy only uses products that have been formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types, not national generic products that are insufficient and ineffective. Let the experts at Green Envy help you choose the best treatment program for your lawn this season. Phone lines are open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and Saturday 9 to 1 to take your calls and answer questions. Call Green Envy today at 636-757-1600 or visit greenenvylawns.com and make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
College basketball's biggest tournament is coming, and it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Download your new bookie before all the March action at circasports.com. If you or someone you know have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown & Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222. Because at Brown & Crouppen, justice is our business.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Brown & Crouppen Morning After on KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You are listening to The Morning After, which is presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Timothy Michael McKernan, Jackson Burkett in for the vacationing Douglas Elvin Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, and the Plowhawk with you on a very special edition of TMA. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Andy Crouppen in studio, and at 9 o'clock, Briana Copage will be with us. You know her as the teacher from the St. Clair School District. Am I right on that? Has anybody checked on my nerves?
Sounds right.
Iggy, you were talking with her yesterday?
Yeah. I texted her a couple times a couple weeks ago, and she didn't get back to me.
Yeah.
So instead of berating her, I just called her again, and she answered yesterday. And we just chatted for a bit and said, yeah, you want to come on and let us know what you've been up to? We haven't talked to you for a while. Let us know what you got going on.
Yep.
Anything in the works. So we'll see what she has going on.
Anything in the works.
Anything in the works. Give me a deep tease, because I obviously was not on the conversation. What is it? What's a deep tease? We have to get better at teasing.
She may come to one of our events if she is in town. She has a couple weeks she's out of town in May. I didn't get the date she was out of town. So we'll see. We'll see if it works out. But, yeah, she still loves us.
She does still love us.
Yes. Yeah, we made her.
You think so?
Well, her and her body, but...
And she just had a procedure, did she not?
Did she?
Well, we get a lot of texts about it.
Oh, I haven't been keeping up with her Twitter.
Well, I haven't seen her Twitter, but it's just a lot of text that I believe she had an enhancement, so she's on the sideline during the enhancement.
Oh, really?
Recovery process.
Load management.
Not to mention her hot body that looks hot in a bikini.
What about that?
That would be a question I'd ask her. Did somebody tell you to get that done to enhance your OnlyFans
I wonder about
viewership?
that.
Work,
'Cause, I
bitch.
mean, she had nice breasts. I don't think she needed to get anything done to them, but I'm sure she's getting advice from other people, asking them, should I do this? How should I do this? How should I go about this?
It's like a putting lesson.
Like an ambassador.
Yeah. Here's Dave Pells.
Yeah, when you start out in the game, you have to get advice from
Hello, I'm the Dave
from the
Pells
pros.
of adult.
Oh, he's the best. I would go to Normandy, just bring his book, and I would read it while I was putting. Just get less. Dave Pells, he's the short game guru. He's got a book out that's like 9,000 pages. But yeah, we don't really talk much. I mean, we talked about. I didn't get any answers from her. I just asked her what we wanted to talk. Told her what we wanted to talk about, and then I didn't ask her. I said, so what did you have going on? Just some things we had. She was in the car, so I don't want to bother her.
Nice. Well, she's going to be with us at 9 o'clock. Looking forward to talking it over with Briana Copage, Andy Crouppen, 8 o'clock, Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. 9:45, 10 o'clock, Jackson and I go down the hallway. We deal with it as best we can. And I would imagine they'll be happy because the Blues won last night. And Jackson, you counseled the Blues on how to handle a power play adjustment.
No power play last night.
And that paid dividends.
Yeah, no power play goals last night, but I felt like they heeded my advice to an extent. There was plenty of separation on that Kevin Hayes goal. Well, so I can't call that a breakaway?
You're welcome to call it anything you want,
No,
sir.
I'm sorry, fast
you got
break.
the Be Curious, Not Judgmental
That's
hoodie
right.
on.
Yeah.
Look
Felt
at that.
that yesterday.
Can that be seen on the, let me see if I can see it on the YouTube.
Is that a TMA?
No, sir.
It's a Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Oh.
Yeah, we haven't acquired the
We
rights.
said so
yet.
many things in this show. I'm not sure what we've said and what we haven't said. That sounds like something you'd say.
No, it's in the dart scene from Ted Lasso.
Never
which
seen it.
is the most.
Never seen Ted Lasso?
Me either.
It's the
Is
most.
that right? Huh.
I think it's the most impactful scene of any television show in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Takes ahoy.
That story he tells, followed by "Be curious, not judgmental." It's how I like to live my life. So,
Is it similar to Ladybugs?
with Rodney Dangerfield, no.
That cute little Jonathan Brandis dressed up as a young lady. Did it remind you of Ladybug?
It didn't. As much as I love Rodney Dangerfield, it's a little different. Both can still be great, but it is nothing like Ladybugs. Outside of they play soccer in both films.
I don't have Apple TV, so I don't get to see it.
It's a movie. You get 2 free months right now.
I've done that before, and then I forget about it, and I get all these. What's this? $19.95. Oh, I forgot I got the free 2 months and didn't cancel.
But then you can watch the dogs if you pay an extra surcharge.
No thanks.
Okay. There's that. Text in. Friends are already doing so. 314-881-TMA5. It's the Jeff Lotman text inbox. Jeff Lotman is with Compass Realty. JEFFLOTTMANN.com. JEFFLOTTMANN.com. Homes are starting to go on the market as we are in the month of March. If you are going to be moving this year, this is the time to get with somebody such as Jeff Lotman, who has been doing it in the St. Louis area for 22 years with $500 million worth of sales. He's at Compass Realty, the #1 luxury real estate broker in the market. And luxury is not about a price point, it's about an experience. Work with Jeff. Loyal TMA listener, text inbox sponsor, JEFFLOTTMANN.com, sponsor of our text inbox, 314-881-TMA5. And we have the Collier and Thompson phone lines, which first day for the Collier and Thompson phone lines yesterday, and it was a huge day as just as many ladies called in, I believe. Whether or not there was financial incentive, I don't know if that's material to the conversation, although it did cost me $50, I believe, to get the calls. 636-9004 TMA, the Collier and Thompson phone lines, and of course our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day, in which Blueberry Pop Pop might just win every day this month. He is 2 for 2 so far. The morning after at InsideSTL.com. The email of the day is provided to you by the wonderful people at Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling, and that's DesignAirService.com. Seth Goldcamp, fourth generation. His great-grandfather started the business. They pride themselves on not upselling the clients. So if you have an issue with your air conditioner or with your HVAC system in general, and they come out there and they spot it, it's not going to be like, oh, well, let's try to get you into something a little more expensive here. No. It's about fixing it, taking care of it, and telling you what's wrong and what you can do about it. That's Design Air Heating and Cooling. They pride themselves on getting out there super quick. Iggy's a client. Doug's a client. I'm a client. Why don't you become a client as well? DesignAirService.com. Anytime I talk about Design Air, I just peek at the forecast.
A little chilly this weekend, but other than that, back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, Saturday was the bad day. 52. But then, Iggy, 67 and sunny Monday, 71 and sunny Tuesday, 72 and sunny on Wednesday, and 72 on Thursday. And you're talking about like March 13th and 14th and 15th there. What do you do?
Or we're going to be 3 weeks away from the Masters, and it's going to be 80.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, winter's over.
Is that right?
I told you winter's over.
Nailed it.
A couple of weeks ago, I told you that. We had one cold day, and one cold day does not make winter.
Yep. Think about that, Jackson.
I can't stop thinking about it.
And Iggy nailed the winning score at the Cognizant Classic at the Palm Beaches, which is
red hot.
Essentially is the Masters of the month of March.
This guy is red hot.
Wasn't there a snowstorm right after Iggy said winter was over?
That's your opinion.
I believe he said that the snow wouldn't stick, and I think we got about 3 total inches accumulation.
Yeah, I also said that they're wrong. They said there'd be 1 to 2, and it was right there. They were wrong. It was 3 to 4.
Wrong.
Right.
But it was gone the next day, and we're back to spring weather after that.
Egg on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who won the? Can I ask who won the DraftKings?
You did.
Yeah,
we announced this yesterday.
Yeah, we said that yesterday.
But it wasn't over yet.
Yeah, but it was over.
Did I cash? For the kids?
Let me take a look.
That's the only thing I'm carried about. So.
That's presented to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton, Toyota. Got this email, by the way, from a listener this morning, 629. Timmy, I need to tip my cap and soil my britches due to the service and help of one Clayton Patterson of Munganess and their outstanding service department. It all started over a week ago when this hot toddy headed to Nashville for his monthly venture for work and the gaggles of 25 to 32-year-old women that are always oh so yums. Picks for you, Mr. Cockatoo, but not for the commoners.
Is this a Munganast read?
Yeah, where does Clayton Patterson come in? They go to Nashville with him?
I just read it's in the prompter. My engine fan was running hard and making noises. Only pick number 2 could provide, and she was not in the car, so I knew something might be amiss. Well, being a white-collar business executive.
The hell is this going?
I don't know, but I enjoy it.
I do too.
That's what happens when I don't read these before
it's the best
reading them on the air. That could not show you a dipstick from an engine block, and proud of it, we drove on. We drove all week from pick number 3 to pick number 4 and then for some more. Like Jackson, that poor engine fan could not keep up with my strong, mature libido. You can't keep up with older men.
What in God's name is going on?
It's like, a Munganast read. That's what it is.
I'm an old engine fan. Oh, they changed the copy up. I gotta say, I'm a fan.
While making my stops for business in lots of Nashville's hot chickie. Once home, this hot toddy realized not only he left several quarts of love juice, but also several parts of engine coolant in Smashville. So what to do, Mr. Boogaloo?
Is Kevin Miller writing the copy for Munganast now?
This is an email from a listener. Right. Simply call Clayton Patterson. I was on the 3rd tee at my country club.
Now it's Mr. Licks is writing the copy. He's writing the copy.
No, he's not a country club anymore.
Realizing this has become an issue. And Clayton, in all of his Sunday glory, called me right back. He said a plan to meet him Monday morning at his West County Acura shop. He not only got me in a loaner car, he also got me a 2024 Acura MVX. He also got me a service team to look over as I did pick number 5. I ran that engine so hot it was like Iggy on a Friday at 3:30 getting ready for a self-toss and a tilapia fillet and then bed.
This sounds like it doesn't have a damn period anywhere.
Hello, la, la, la. All right, so we got a bunch of idiots today to start us off. Pete, what's up, Pete? Let's try you. See if you're going to make it any better.
How did you get Clayton's cell phone number?
Perfect drop.
I
don't have the answer.
Some of the classic.
The news was not great about the car or the Iggy Fish show. So now Clayton has it going to his Toyota dealer for further inspection. It was quite a week, and I just cannot thank Clayton and the Munganess team enough. You seriously made a very stressful issue into something that we hope comes out in a win for humanity.
Oh, yeah.
You're getting emotional.
I've got the hiccups from laughing at this. I know I'm in an awesome hands with the Munganess service team. Shouts to you, Clayton. That's from Mr. Hot Toddy.
All right. Wow. Big year for the Land Sharks coming up.
You could have knocked that down to my engine light wasn't working, my fan wasn't working. I brought in to Clayton. He took care of me. Thanks, guys.
Nah, theater of the mind, though. You know, you got to paint a picture.
This is a guy that always says, long story short, but then we'll, like, continue the story.
I'm glad they got some hot chickie.
Oh, my word. So there it is. Another endorsement for Munganess.
Munganess. This a make good, or are they going to accept
it's a W. It's a big old W.
Let's see. It snowed 4 inches the day you said winter was over, you moron. That's Harrison's brother, Master. He is locked and loaded for the day in the Jeff Lotman Compass Realty text inbox. Mark the calendar. Iggy was right. That's from the total package. In what kind of fever dream was that crap? That's from Pig of the Coal Mine. So there it is.
Wow.
Assessment of the program in the early going.
I like it. If you can tell a nice little road tripping story and tie in the sponsor at the end of it, I think that's a successful day. What does Jimmy Valvano say? If you can laugh, cry, and like pray all in one day, it's
a great day.
It's a great day.
You better believe it.
Yeah, so that kind of story kind of encompasses that.
Jackson, you're locked and loaded on Fun with Audio today.
Yeah, boy.
So were you already aware of the Eli Drinkwitz podcast when I texted you about it this morning?
Yeah, I watched the clip last night, and I was like, oh, I'm going to save that to cut for audio.
Right.
But I didn't see the Dan Mullen part.
How did you, the guy, and hey, God bless, I mean, I don't even utilize social media, at least for the most part anymore, so judging one by their followers would be a fool's errand. However, this gentleman who had Eli Drinkwitz on and had a hell of a set, you know, the name of the Twitter account's Like a Farmer, and that's the podcast, right, on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep.
Like a Farmer podcast.
Good production.
Yeah, but he has 137,000 subscribers on Like a Farmer podcast, but only like 500 Twitter followers. What a weird deal that is.
I didn't notice that correlation, but I just
did now.
From the production value of the podcast, I was like, okay, this is
Farmers are on Twitter.
Well,
no rebuttal.
Hey, well, you're from a farming community. That's why
I wouldn't see them tweeting out a whole heck of a lot. I don't know how old the guy is.
They could probably
looks
find
like he's about 35. I'd be my guess, give or take. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a touch older, but definitely like really good production on it.
Yeah,
really nice set, like a beautiful set.
There's a hell of it. I was looking at that. Yeah, I'm in the process of looking at sets myself. So when I saw it, I go, now this would certainly kind of looks like his set kind of looks like the VIP room of the Stag Bar over at what used to be Penthouse, now is Diamond again, Iggy, I think. I think that they've gone from Diamond to Penthouse to Diamond. A lot of taxidermy back there.
A lot of wood grain.
You've been?
No, in this set. I've been to no back room. Maybe that's where it was,
at a strip club.
Yeah, there's but it winds up being a great interview. I get the sense that this was done a while ago because I was listening to it on my way to the station today, and he was asked like, "Oh, did you guys finish 9th or 10th?" He goes, "Well, we don't know just yet." And I'm going, "What in the hell?"
Yeah,
and they were talking about the Cotton Bowl like it was real news. So I get the sense this was maybe done in the first week of January before Michigan beat Washington. That's kind of my sense.
Yeah,
that was the national championship game. To refresh memories, who may have already forgotten. And that was coached by Kalen DeBoer of Alabama and Jim Harbaugh of the Chargers. So with that all said, there were some intriguing sound bites in here. And one of the things that we talked about going into, Gabe and I can remember talking about this, is that he got the sense going into last season that perhaps Drinkwitz had matured. Not just with the signs of bringing in an offensive coordinator, which clearly helped, but also the way he was conducting himself. And so out of nowhere, because I was listening to this whole thing, and I don't know, he was talking about how his father-in-law is a farmer. And then just in the middle of it, he then brings up he needs to give Dan Mullen an apology. And you might be wondering, what that was about. So what, he called Dan Mullen a jackass, right?
Yeah.
And then Dan Mullen dressed up as like a Star Wars guy.
Darth Vader.
And then after Missouri beat Florida in 2020, what was that, one?
Yeah, Daniel Parker.
The ball that was heaved into the air. Unfortunately, Daniel Parker was waiting under it like a punt. They won that game. I guess if memory serves, it made him bowl eligible.
Yeah.
And it became a big thing. And then Drinkwitz shows up at the podium dressed up like another Star Wars character.
Kind of looked like
lightsaber.
Alec Guinness and
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Sure. So just out of nowhere, he's talking about his father-in-law being a farmer. I may have missed the tie-in, but he apologizes to Dan Mullen.
Now, I owe Dan Mullen an apology.
Have you given him an apology?
I'm going to do it right now.
Boom, let's do it.
Yeah,
All right, go for it. Here's your camera right here.
I owe Dan an apology. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Dan Mullen, and I should never have said that in a way that would have got referenced back to him. Okay, Dan is not a jackass, although he did come out as Darth Vader after a game, and I came back with the response. In no way did I think that was going to have anything to do with him getting let go, and I sure hope it didn't. And then the comments after that, I was doing an interview on a Monday morning after the game, and really didn't. When you're like me and you kind of talk, you don't always weight your words as well as you should have. And if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have done that because I have a lot of respect for Dan Mullen.
All right, so you got that, and then I don't know if this is an apology to Josh Heupel, but it's an explanation of the stand-on business thing. For those of you who may recall November when Missouri beat the hell out of Tennessee, he runs up to Josh Heupel, who had run up the score on Missouri the previous year with a late touchdown, and said, "We stand on business, Josh." And I think Heupel was like, "What the hell was that?"
Didn't he say it running away, like at full speed?
He said it as he was kind of turning, like a little reverse pivot. "We stand on business, Josh."
So here is the explanation on that.
So going into that game, we're going to play Tennessee. Yeah. They've beaten us pretty good the previous 2 years.
Yeah.
And our players knew that we didn't play our best, and defensively we hadn't played our best. And so the motto for that week for defense was stand on business. We were going to stand on business, and that just means everybody's got to do their job. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Don't worry about the opponent, but we got to stand on business. And so I told the defense if they stood on business that I would tell the head coach that after the game. And they did it. And if you'll watch the clip closely, the defensive captain, number 6, is walking right behind me because we were beating them pretty good, and so they were all gassing me up, and they were walking right behind me to make sure I did it. And I had two choices. I could either look like a jackass nationally by saying it, or I could look like a jackass to my team for not saying it. And there's no choice in that. I'm gonna make sure that what I say and what I do with my team is always consistent. And if other people don't like it, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care, because the brotherhood in the locker room is the most important thing to me. And keeping my word to those men is way more important than what the outside noise thinks about me. People think I'm dorky. People think I'm arrogant. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't think all that about me? Those players in that locker room. What they think about me is, I hope, they think that there's a guy who trusts and respects them and has a lot of love for them.
I appreciate the context, because otherwise I was just like, what in the hell's going on here? Doesn't matter. They beat the hell out of him, but what a strange thing. So that explains quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought for the longest after it happened that it was in reference to Heupel running it up on them and kind of his response. But that context, I like his self-awareness that he knows he kind of sounded like a jackass when doing it. But I really like saying, I'd rather look like a jackass on national TV than to the guys in the locker room. I think that is, if it's not corny, it is, appreciated, I bet, from the players.
Okay,
kind of dumb promise, though.
Dan is not a jackass.
I mean, I'm sure his team would have tried to stand on business without it saying, if you do it, I'll tell Heupel that, because Heupel has no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
He certainly looked confused at the moment.
He was flummoxed by the whole situation. He's like, this team that we just beat by triple digits damn near last 2 years just cooked us, absolutely smoked us. Yeah, he was very confused.
Suck on that, Alabama. That's from Scissor Me Timbers. Plowhawk, what is your reaction?
I think he's hired a hell of a PR firm the last year and a half, because it seems like he's matured 10 years. I'm not for sure if this is him going out of his way or somebody, told him, hey, this is probably a good platform to maybe apologize for anything you've done in the past.
That's the other thing. Just real quickly on that, I apologize for interrupting, but when I saw that the podcast, the Twitter account, again, maybe I'm off and it's a different account, but it had like 537 followers. I'm like, man, what a random thing. And then a podcast with 537 followers to have that caliber of set. Right. I'm just like, what is it? I mean, Like a Farmer isn't something that I'm listening to. It's nothing against it, but clearly the guy's I think he's had Josh Allen in there, he was saying at the beginning of it, so he's got a.
How many followers on his podcast?
On the Twitter account, like 530.
But over 130,000.
137,000 on it. So, I mean, it's got a huge following. It's
and the guy only has 396 followers.
So, hey, God bless him, doing it without Twitter tweets. So either way, go ahead, Plowhawk.
No, I obviously I have had my Drinkwitz fun, but over the last year, I've kind of changed my tune a little bit because he changed his. I think he's still dorky, and I think he embraces it now. I mean, it was shocking that dude's a football coach when you first see him, on the podium. But what he's done in the recruiting realm, and the players do have his back. I give him credit for what he's done. Still not a fan of the personality, but you can throw credit where credit's due. I would kill for a Drinkwitz in Champaign right now, to be perfectly honest with you. So, and 2 years ago, I'd be shocked to say that. So he's done a lot.
On3 is a legit site, Mr. Tim. Oh, I know about On3. I thought that.
I don't think this is an On3 product.
Yeah, but I mean, listen.
They tweeted out the quotes of the podcast,
yeah, but that's
not.
But it was via the Like a Farmer thing. I mean, hey, listen, 137,000 subscribers is you can make some money with that kind of number. So it's a real thing, and that's why when I saw the set, I'm like, okay, I wonder if he's just doing like a favor for like a student in Columbia.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I realize this sounds incredibly ignorant to those who are familiar with the Like a Farmer podcast, but I am not. So I just became aware of it this morning, like at 6, and texted Jackson to pull some clips from it because it just got released here within the last few days, even though the interview apparently was done like in the first week of January. On3 is a legit site, Mr. Tim, and Plow, I feel the same as you. His smarminess has seemed dialed down, but I also wonder if the winning has taken some of the edge off. That's from Brian Henson.
Sure, it helps.
That's kind of my, you can act like if you want to be a silly guy and play with lightsabers, but you get 11 wins. I don't give a damn.
Tim, maybe time to pivot as the old one appears disinterested in the topic. That's from the Illsider. What
getting shade for
what game? I don't know. I've been sitting next to Iggy. He didn't say anything.
I've listened to it and I commented on a couple of the clips, and I just asked
Illsider. You can call in. I'll give you $25.
Oh God,
I'm gonna go broke.
Yeah, for real.
636.
What that guy with the mug and ass
Bourbon snob.
Snob.
Yeah, he never called in. So that money went to, what was her name, Beatrice the Butcher's assistant?
Beatrice, and then there was Jakey Big Mistake, his
sister-in-law. And now who am I giving money to? The Illsider can call in. I don't know what his read was on Iggy, but Iggy was just sitting here as far as I could tell.
I'm just listening. I mean, what do you want me to do? Get back on my phone so you can trash me there?
Callers might be.
He's on his phone during the comments.
Oh, yeah, because we have no KG in O-Town today, so there's nobody to... So if you just call in, Plowhawk's got to answer it on the air.
Nobody in the Eagles' nest.
Yeah. The Eagles' nest.
Yeah, that's my little boof.
I guess because you're posting pics of the Riz show?
Me?
During our show? Why does Iggy keep posting pics of the Riz show?
I posted one like 3 days ago.
Yeah, what'd you get, Neuralink put in where you can do it with your mind? I usually been sitting.
Brother Master. I never
been sitting there.
I posted one like 3 days ago after their Rizzuto show live. There's a picture of them all, and I think Riz has a Speedo on. And
Aren't they all in their underwear?
Yeah, but Riz seemed to be a Speedo. The other one seemed to be like boy shorts. I just said, so hot.
Hot.
I'm lucky to be able to work in the same building with these beautiful people. That was 3 days ago, so.
Harrison's
brother
Master.
Keep posting pictures of the Riz show. I don't know what keep means. I did it once.
Let's see. Fleeting success is much harder to achieve than sustained success. Jury is still out on Drink, but I'm rooting for him. That's from the 573.
I don't think anyone's anointing him yet,
Love the Instagram post of Learn Iggy, all reliable, you boot. So is something going on with your account?
Unless I'm hacked.
I know, that's what I'm wondering.
My Twitter account?
This is Instagram. According to the South City Hoosier aficionado.
I mean, Learn's in the picture with all the Rizzuto show people because she's on the Riz show. She's part of it. I don't think that was a picture of Learn I posted. It was a picture of the entire cast. And you talk about people's calves.
Clip that off.
Talking about
Rafe.
Have you seen Rafe's calves? My God.
I haven't. I don't really look at...
Well, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see a
You're
picture.
missing out.
You'll see a picture of them all. My God, they're like...
There you go.
Like a side
Thank
of
you
ham.
very much. Holy crap. What's going on? What's going on with that?
He played college ball.
I do
baseball.
know he played college ball.
Yeah.
But still.
It's a good-looking show.
Jesus.
What can I tell you?
It's a good-looking show.
Credit
It
where
is. It
credit's
looks like
due.
they had a blast.
I'd call in, but I'm stuck in the Lesser Antilles, and Mrs. Licks isn't a fan for some reason of having the show on in the morning when we're on vacay. That's from Mr. Licks wants us to know he's in the Lesser Antilles.
Yeah. But you do have it on. After saying your wife doesn't want it on, you have it on anyway. And you're not in the Lesser Antilles. You're picking us up somewhere in Farmington.
He's in Farmington? I thought he was in the Pillar Line.
No, he's driving somewhere else.
Drink may have moved from dork to nerd now. That's from the Hunchback of Vaughan Castle. And Harrison's brother Master says he changed his profile pic to him and Learn. Then he posted an underwear photo of the Riz show. What a weirdo. That's from Harrison's brother Master. So that's what he's saying is going on. I don't know. I don't have the answers to what Iggy's profile
Well, I just changed my profile pictures. I changed it to, I had it with me and Jay when Jay passed away. So I decided to change it up a little bit. And I don't know. I got two of them on there. I don't know what the other one is, but you want to comment on that?
Harrison's brother Master, you can call in.
Damn right. Stuff right there, Hawk.
How do you care what I put on my Facebook page?
You can call in.
They care
Who do we
about
have on
everything.
right now? Is it Illside or is it Harrison's brother Master?
It's almost going to be
Everybody's
like,
getting $25. I'm upside down now.
if there is a caller, it almost have to be like, we have to be in sync. They're
Yeah,
like,
the
right
20
where I'm turning, there are the 15 seconds of ringing that's going on
The
immediately.
$25 should go to Plowhawk in case he actually sees a caller and is able to pick
I mean, out here, it's hard for me to remember that since that's not typically what I do on here since
No doubt.
where the location of the phone is. But I can always look and just let me know 5 seconds in advance when you're calling, and I'll turn.
I'm about to jump into a sales team meeting. Iggy, how do you think it will go over if I tell them how attractive I found the accounting team? Thanks. That's from Mr. Big Cream.
Well, I don't know where you work. Here, it's a term of endearment. I think they're beautiful people. I don't know what kind of company you work for that would frown on you complimenting your other workers.
Mr. Big Cream, you can call in before your sales meeting, and you get $25. If there was ever a day for a tsunami in the Lesser Antilles, today is the day. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko.
Well, he's not there. He's not there, but whatever.
I'm from the Lou and I'm proud is so bad. That's from Sweet Guy.
That's what makes it so good.
I wonder what
on here.
Nelly would think of that.
Oh,
One of his best songs
does he
ever.
get any royalties from this?
No shot.
But he should, right?
I don't know. I think he might say you can keep it.
Coincidentally,
Yeah.
my profile picture on Facebook is myself and another man's wife as well. That's from That's How Good the Merkin Was.
Well, if you thought Tim was bothered by that, Tim
This is Learn's husband. Tim,
or if she was bothered, why don't you? I mean, she commented on the picture, so why don't you read that out when you get back?
He's bouncing off my booty cheeks. I love the way he rides. I can hardly breathe when he's pumping deep inside.
What, another poem.
I always post photos of my coworkers discussing their looks. It goes over real well. That's Harrison's brother Master.
Well, you work in a trash office then.
Wow. Deloitte taking shots.
Because nobody
Commercial
here
real estate won't
nobody
survive
here, nobody here is offended by things I say. I compliment people. Hey, Learn told me I was a beautiful man one time. Should I file suit?
You're going to get to with HR because of that?
Hey, she came in and said I was a beautiful person. I'm tired of it. Tired of all the sexist comments about me.
You imagine being in HR and having Iggy come up to them filing a complaint.
What is this? Bizarro world.
It's like an SNL skit.
You still washing off 19 from Scottsdale, you New Hampshire gaped piggy. That's from the recovering alcoholic.
Washed out 19. This guy.
You are such a devastatingly horny simp. That's from Little Tommy Tribbins. And he won Milagro Tequila Texter of the Year in 2022. And we have an announcement for our Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month for the month of February, and I didn't realize that I forgot to vote until I saw the winner.
Right. Quorum was met.
Was that right?
Yeah, majority.
Like there was
rules.
a majority?
Oh, yeah.
Jackson's got it on, some kind of little
Survey Monkey?
Yeah.
It's made it a lot easier.
Yesterday, and I was in the midst of something and never voted.
Yeah. It's really...
I don't even know who the nominees were. Let me see what we got.
Good amount.
None of these guys had ever won?
It resets after a year.
Yeah, okay. God bless.
But
all right.
I think only
we got a big
one.
announcement right here.
The winner for February 2024 getting a sick Milagro Tequila prize pack on top of a very exclusive TMA Listener of the Month tumbler. Only one of 12. There's only 12 in existence. Beautiful little tumbler. Goes to Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith
I voted for Smithy.
The swingman.
I do believe he called, gave some insight on
He did.
swinging.
He got Iggy Coffee last week.
And got Iggy Coffee. I think he had a double,
Provided some swing analysis.
With help from
Stephen Wildwood,
Steve,
who is the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year, 2023.
Yeah, and I thanked him on the air for that.
So a lot of synergy there, but Mr. Smith takes home February, and he'll get the sick Milagro Tequila prize pack and the TMA tumbler.
Oh, throw that baseball in there, too.
All right.
He wanted the ball when he brought the coffee. I said, whoever brings me coffee, you can have this autographed ball for me throwing it 52 miles an hour.
It's kind of my ADD ball.
And he wanted it, and I forgot to bring it down, so just throw it in the Milagro basket for him.
It's like a fidget spinner for me.
Oh, there's another one there you can play with.
Thank you.
I sent
like
you
a child. There's one you can play with.
Congratulations, Mr. Smith. Milagro Tequila, sponsor of our Listener of the Month and the Listener of the Year competition here on TMA. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro. And we also want to say Mark Hanna's a wonderful gentleman, isn't he, Jackson?
Oh, boy, howdy, Tim. I love talking with that Mark Hanna. He comes in every Wednesday and presents Jeremy Rutherford right here on these airwaves. You get to see that lovely head of hair on him. Sometimes he's rocking a nice little beard. But either way, when you get on the phone with him to talk about your finances, you're going to realize that this guy knows what he's talking about. Not just about finances, he does, obviously. I mean, as a financial advisor, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to your finances. But the way he conveys his message and his understanding of balancing happiness in life and money, that's such an important thing to go hand in hand. And Mark Hanna understands that better than anyone I know. Having someone like him in my corner really puts me at ease, knowing that if something changes in my life or I want to change up a plan or whatever the situation may call for, I can get on the phone with Mark Hanna and feel better getting off the phone than when I got on the phone. And to me, that is just worth everything. That's why I love working with Mark Hanna, and I really think that's why you're going to love working with Mark Hanna.
Yeah, he's a wonderful one. I can't say enough good things about Mark Hanna, and I really want to emphasize, especially to our younger listeners, the importance of having a financial advisor. 314-889-0503, or just go online at evergreenstl.com. Mark Hanna is one of the rare people who you can talk about your financial situation with and then come away from the conversation not only feeling better about your financial situation, but also just better about the world in general. He has that skill set. It's just his nature. Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com. Mentality is a St. Louis-based local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform their very best. It's FDA-approved testosterone treatment. So go online at lowtusa.com. Belly fat, feeling bloated, a lack of lean muscle, and tone that used to be easy to get rid of or maintain. Those are symptoms of low testosterone. Well, with Mentality, they can help you out. Even if you've tried testosterone before, not everyone understands the blood chemistry in men's bodies. Mentality can help. The normal range for testosterone is large. If you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it was not fully looked at, come get checked with Mentality. Testosterone therapy helps men regain normal function and restores their ability to perform normally at all levels. It's Mentality, lowtusa.com. Work with Mentality, sponsor of TMA at lowtusa.com. Well, Plowhawk, I'm sure you were buzzing yesterday as Sonny Gray exited his start with a hamstring injury from Katie Wu last evening. Katie Wu writes for The Athletic. Sonny Gray, the top off-season acquisition for the Cardinals, was removed from his second exhibition start with right hamstring tightness, according to a team spokesperson. He had thrown 20 pitches over an inning and 2/3 Monday against the Nationals, but motion for Wilson Contreras after throwing a pitch midway through an at-bat. Gray was quickly met at the mound by Contreras, head trainer Adam Olson, manager Mullen, and pitching coach Dusty Blake. The decision to remove him from the game soon followed. Gray, who signed a 3-year, $75 million deal with the Cardinals in November, was already named opening day starter last week. He remained in the dugout until the end of the inning Monday before being taken off-site for further evaluation. Answering the question as to what is the initial level of concern, concern will always arise after a team's presumed ace leaves a spring game early. Gray was slated to throw 3 innings and breeze through the first of them, but after recording it out in the second inning, both Gray and Contreras immediately recognized something was wrong. The Cardinals will not know the extent of Gray's hamstring injury until today. Gray is set to undergo an MRI on Monday evening in Jupiter, Florida. I am looking on the Twitter tweets to see if Ali Marmol has addressed it, and I do not see anything as of this moment. Now, here is the thing that at the moment, because otherwise you go, okay, it was just tightness, it's a spring game, it doesn't mean anything. But Sonny Gray has had hamstring issues in the recent past. He made all 32 of his starts last year for the Twins, but he was on the IL 3 times in 2022, and 2 of those 3 IL stints were hamstring related. He missed 3 weeks in mid-April 2022 with what the Twins termed a low-grade right hamstring strain, so that is back here, the right hamstring, and he was placed on the IL again in mid-September with another right hamstring strain. Point being, my initial inclination would be like, okay, it's a precautionary thing, could be irrelevant, but he has been on the IL twice in the last, 18 months, or twice in the last 24 months with an IL strain. So, from his right hamstring, which is why he was removed from the game yesterday. So, therefore, from that standpoint, it gives you reason for potential concern. As Jackson, a question you asked me last week, I think, on Balloon Party was, who is the one player who would go on the IL who could cause you the biggest concern? I said, well, it's easy. It's Sonny Gray. It's not even a sweat.
Yeah.
And you said, okay, outside of Sonny Gray, because it's so obvious it's Sonny Gray. And so if you have that situation, and this is an injury that has gotten him and got him twice in 2022, it's something that I'm sure the Cardinals are keeping an eye on.
Yeah. Anytime you have a 34-year-old pitcher who's dealing with the lingering injury issue this early in the year, certainly reason for concern, especially on that loading leg on the right-handed pitcher.
Trevor Bauer's out there. Mo.
The Caleb Williams of baseball.
Yeah. Well, let's move from Chris Archer, because he's now in an advisory role.
He retired, so he's not coming out.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, like playing the hand out. If it ends up being worse than it seems to be, if it's worse than just tightness and someone's going to keep him on the shelf for a little bit, would the Cardinals shell out money for another starter? And if they don't, I mean, how would people react?
Boy.
Well, they'd have to.
If this is a shoulder or elbow, it's a completely different thing.
I have to tell you, I agree with that assessment, right? I mean, again, I suppose if he's got a serious issue, that's a different thing. But you're right, shoulder, elbow. These are the kinds of things that usually, you might have to miss time, but it's not a shoulder and elbow situation.
Yeah, it might not affect him in the long run.
Go ahead, Plowek, I interrupted.
No, but let's be real. This isn't going to happen throughout the season. We have a 37-year-old. We have a 38-year-old. I mean, Gibson, I think, is only 32. But, we have some elders.
I think you got your ages wrong, but the point is that they're older. That's for certain.
Yeah, they're elder statesmen. I think you're going to go through a bunch of little hopefully they're minor injuries throughout the rotation throughout the season. And I think the depth isn't there in terms of Thompson's spot starting, Libator. Those maybe are good for a couple of starts, but if they're in there for 4 or 5 starts in a row.
Yeah, better replacing Matz than it is Gray.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would obviously make sense for a Bauer or a Snell now, regardless of the hamstring injury, but I think they're looking at it as a minor injury. He'll be back. All the other guys are healthy. We have 6 starting pitchers. Isn't that kind of like every year Mo comes out, we have 6 or 7. Where are we going to put them? I don't think they're going to react to this injury.
No, the only way they sign somebody is if an injury is he's out for, 8 to 10 weeks. Yeah, but if it's only a couple weeks, they're not going to go sign a $20 million a year player, even if they got Bauer for 1 year for $20, $25 million. They're not going to sign him because he's going to be out for 2 weeks.
I don't think Bauer's going to be commanding that much money. I think.
Well, that's what it started out with now. Who knows? Since nobody's signing, it seems.
Yeah, this is like music to Scott Boris's ears, but I don't know if the Cardinals are going to open up those purse strings again.
Per Bob Nightingale of USA Today, Scott Boras told him that 4 clubs who had not been active suitors for Snell and Montgomery have checked in on the pair of lefties since camps opened in mid-February. Now, of course, Scott Boras has not had the greatest of off seasons, so he could be just doing Scott Boras things, but whether or not that would be the Cardinals and whether or not what has transpired over the last 24 hours in Jupiter could be changing their strategy. That is something of note for Cardinal fans monitoring that. But based on what Bill DeWitt III said, that unless they were to offload a large portion of salary, it wouldn't be something that is real likely for them to do as far as adding a large amount of salary. But if you have a significant issue with Gray, and at this moment, I don't know if I would think a hamstring would qualify as a significant injury, then perhaps they would go down that road. The best part for the Cardinals would be is if they could do something like what the Cubs did with Bellinger, and you can kind of have a bridge deal, although that is in the player's control because he does have an $80 million deal, but Bellinger puts up numbers this year, good chance he opts out, which he is allowed to do. The Cubs are not allowed to do. The Cubs would theoretically be on the hook for the $80 million in a 3-year deal. My thing is I don't think the Cardinals want to give a long-term deal to Snell or Montgomery at this moment. I don't think, but perhaps the math has changed, whether it be because of Gray's injury or because of something else they've seen in spring training.
And look at what the market is now. And I know the Wheeler thing may be different, that extension he signed with Philly. I mean,
3,125.
Yeah, you're talking $35 million AAV is now like a norm. And to me, that's even my eye-popping, and I'm telling the Cardinals to spend a bunch of money. So I know they're not into 4 years, 130, 140 for whatever pitcher it might be. And Montgomery, I don't know how close he's going to be to Snell in terms of years in AAV, but right now the Cardinals are like almost have like a desperation too, which is obviously fits right in with Scott Boras. So I would be shocked if they called Scott Boras and the conversation wasn't, oh, how much is it? Okay, bye. Yeah. And just, I mean, sometimes they have a number in mind that they're not going to overspend, and I would assume they're very expensive commodities now.
I think the conversation's a lot different about those two guys, especially on January 5th and it is March 5th, even if you're down
absolutely
a starter like that.
100%.
A 1-year deal bridge kind of deal like you were talking about, like what the Cubs did with Bellinger, for guys like Montgomery, maybe Snell, are certainly on the table. I think that's a like
and that
lends
Cardinals. Itself to what the Cardinal strategy has been, which is let's minimize term and bring in veteran pitchers who we know are going to give us innings. So I do wonder about it. Perhaps, as weird as it is, the best thing that could happen for the 2024 Cardinals, having a chance to compete for a championship, and I'm not talking about the Central Division, which is, okay, somebody's got to win this thing and not necessarily be a great team, could be the the Gray hamstring. But we will, within the next, I would imagine, matter of minutes, find out what the results of that are. Meanwhile, by the way, the Atlanta Braves have a situation with last year's MVP, Ronald Acuna Jr., confirmed irritation in the meniscus of his right knee. He is set to gradually increase baseball activities, and per the Braves, is expected to be ready for opening day. Certainly the Braves are thought to be, I guess, one of the best challengers to the Dodgers this year.
Say in the National League.
In the National League.
Yeah, for sure.
Brian Snitker, their manager, talked about the debacle that is the Major League Baseball playoffs and what his issue is, even though they're going to try to be the 1 or 2 seed and get a bye, why he hates the bye for the Major League Baseball playoffs and considers it an actual disadvantage, even though they're supposed to be rewarded for having a great regular season. And this was on, Foul Territory yesterday, am I correct, Jason?
Yes, sir.
All right,
yes, sir.
Let's take a listen.
What one is this?
This
Foul
is
Territory, got it.
Clip 9, Paul.
Gotcha. There's a lot of them today.
Can you tell us any of the internal discussions that you guys have had about
how to succeed in the playoffs.
Yeah, I completely redid what we did this year compared to 2 years ago. We had normal work days and we played games. We played 3 games. We let the fans in for free. We showed up at the same time. We did batting practice. We did our extra work and we played a game. I'll be honest with you, the biggest thing we haven't done is hit. And I just don't think in baseball, I always worry about 4 days off at the All-Star break, but everybody's going through that, not just a couple of teams. It's hard to hit velocity when you haven't seen anything in 5 days. That's my biggest thing. We had a team that set all these records and everything offensively, and we didn't hit much in the postseason. I don't know that it's approach. I think it's just a matter of I don't like the system, quite honestly. We're going to have to deal with it. We better figure it out because we're going to try like hell this year to win the division and have 5 days off again. I mean, we can change all the focus and all that we want. I think, as an offensive player, when you're not seeing, the lights aren't on, juices aren't flowing, and you're not seeing velocity like you're going to face in the playoffs, you know what? It's hard to score. That being said, we added some velocity to our bullpen, and hopefully we can keep the other guys from scoring until we get our sea legs under us, and and our offense can get kicking.
Can you tell us any of the
No, keep going.
discussions that you guys?
No, that was it.
Oh, okay.
Not anything on my part.
God almighty.
I just recorded the whole TikTok and then I just I put it away.
I was like, there it is. I thought that's what I sent. I'm like, holy crap. That was on TikTok, and I sent it to Jackson yesterday afternoon because I saw it. I'm telling you, baseball's got a situation with this thing. Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. And I know if you were a loyal listener, and hey, God bless, thank you for listening. But then, therefore, you've heard me tell the story about Andy Van Slyke and the 2006 Tigers. He said the Cardinals won the World Series that year when we swept the Oakland A's because we had to sit around for a week and it killed us. I know, you were 8 when it happened, so our younger listeners may not remember that World Series particularly well, but the Cardinals were considered to be the big-time lesser team of those two, and they won the thing in 5 games, and it was, I think, minus... God, I don't know, maybe Game 4, I think, was kind of a thrilling game. There wasn't a whole lot in that World Series. The Tigers were just bad.
They're booting the ball left and right.
And they didn't really hit all that well, too.
Sean
and
Casey.
It's one of those weird things. I love that baseball tried to reward a better regular season with this playoff system, but unfortunately, the data shows that it is not necessarily a reward to sit out. And so what do? You don't take your foot off the gas to try to become the 3 seed. Right. But the National League so far has been represented by 2 number 6 seeds. Yeah. I mean, is that what you want? Again, it's 2 years, but still, this isn't really that surprising for baseball nerds who know that taking a week off when everybody else isn't is not necessarily a good thing. That's Brian Snitker, Braves manager, as Ronald Acuna could be in jeopardy of missing time with the Braves. We will find out the situation with Sonny Gray here any moment, as Ali Marmol will be addressing the media in Jupiter, Florida, and see how long he could miss, if any time whatsoever. And finally, on your St. Louis sports docket from yesterday, here is Chris Kerber as the Blues and the Flyers go to a shootout. Pavel Buchnevich. And I feel like at any moment he could be going, but a lot of people are hoping he stays. And last night, he helped the cause of his potential stay in St. Louis and not going anywhere for this Friday's trade deadline with this shootout game winner.
Pavel Buchnevich win it for the Blues. We're 1-1 and in the 4th round of the shootout. Buchnevich in, high slot, Deeks shoots, score! Bring out the Zamboni. Buchnevich tucks a backhander in to win the shootout, and the Blues skate to a 2-1 victory tonight in Philadelphia.
There it is, and with that, the Blues now are 5 points back of both the Kings and the Predators. For the record, the Kings have played 60 games. The Predators have played 62. The Blues have a game in hand on the Predators because the Blues have played 61. It's back-to-back as they travel through the East Coast. Tonight they are on Long Island taking on the Islanders, a team they beat a couple weeks ago. And, hey, man, they are forcing the issue here down the stretch, and that's a tip of the cap to him. But really, it's Jordan Binnington. He faced 41 shots, and had 40 saves. And the one goal he gave up was kind of a garbage goal, a weird goal. So this guy is playing lights out. And that's the one thing I'll say, because I don't think the offense is there for this team to compete with, take your pick of damn near any team in the Western Conference that you would list as a current playoff team. And I'm talking about any of the Central teams, the Jets, the Stars, the Avalanche. The Canucks are at another level in the Pacific, but you've seen the Oilers offense. We saw that last week when the Blues were up in Alberta, and then the Vegas Golden Knights. But as we've also seen in the playoffs, if you have a goaltender go off, that he can steal a series. So, I'd love to see the Blues in the playoffs, but if I'm Doug Armstrong, I don't care that they have won these games. I still would try to take advantage of the situation, ask for the world, as he, per the Athletic's Pierre LeBrun yesterday, said he is doing, comparable to what the Flames did with Vancouver, with Lindholm, and see if you can get a monster deal for Buchnevich, because whichever playoff team would acquire him by the deadline would not only get him for this playoff, but also the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2025, since he is under contract for a reasonable amount of money for this year and next. So I am intrigued to see how the Blues handle that. That's a much different conversation than any other lower-level player, but that is the one to keep an eye on. And if the Blues win again tonight, and then they head to New Jersey, take on the Rangers after they take on the Devils, who fired their coach yesterday, Lindy Ruff, out. Then they go to Boston and see where they sit, but they will not have that information by the trade deadline coming around. They have 2 games before the trade deadline, and they sit 5 points back of a playoff spot. So there it is. That closes out your Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. 7 o'clock hour. Andy Crouppen coming up on the other side of the break. Briana Copage makes her return to the show at 9 o'clock. Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today at 9:45. Jackson and I go down the hallway and we deal with a situation called Balloon Party from 10 to 11. And then I think we're QFTAing it today. Got a lot of QFTAs. You can send yours in TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com for questions from the audience on the Tim McKernan Show podcast. There it is. This is TMA, presented to you by Briana Copage.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with a great TMA sponsor, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And you may hear a bunch of out-of-state law firms advertising here and there all over on billboards and so on and so forth. But the thing is, oftentimes their goal is to just settle and move on, and that's not what you guys do.
Yeah, this is CD Longo, and you hear us talking a lot about maximizing the value of cases, but what does that actually mean? Well, as Tim said, there's lots of personal injury lawyers in St. Louis, and everyone handles cases differently. We focus on getting the highest dollar amount for your injuries, not just getting a resolution quickly. We're constantly tracking all the settlements and verdicts in the area. This helps us advise our clients on whether a settlement offer is too low. And if the amount of compensation being offered is too low, we are happy to file lawsuits and proceed to trial to ensure our clients receive an amount that is fair. Visit our website or Google us at Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. James, I love getting emails from listeners who support the sponsors. Got one from a client of yours who switched, and you immediately saved him $1,000, and it meant the world to him.
The area that we're really having an impact on people's finances are people with drivers under the age of 25. We are seeing material savings for these types of clients, hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars per year.
James Carlton, Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net. The Illinois Recovery Center is dedicated to providing precise and authentic care to those seeking help and treatment. Recovery, it's not just a goal, it's a transformative journey. At Illinois Recovery Center, you'll find an unwavering commitment to provide the support, guidance, and personalized care you or your loved one needs to rediscover a life filled with purpose, strength, and lasting renewal. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here right now with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. I made the switch to start working with you, James. It couldn't have been easier to make that switch to start saving money.
Well, I appreciate that, Tim, and we appreciate your business. Yeah, this is the time to save money. My goodness, we're all feeling it at the grocery store, at the gas pump, etc. So if you've noticed that your insurance rate has gone up, I want to stress how easy it is to get a proposal from us by going online at carltoninsurance.net. Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency online at carltoninsurance.net.
Temperatures are finally warming up here in St. Louis, and while that means more fun in the sun, it could also spell disaster for your lawn. Rain equals spring weeds, and now is the best time to get ahead of it. Green Envy has been here in St. Louis for more than a decade, servicing and treating lawns just like they would their very own. Crabgrass can lay dormant for years until the conditions are right, and the massive amounts of moisture we've had is sure to wake up even the oldest crabgrass seeds. Green Envy only uses products that have been formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types, not national generic products that are insufficient and ineffective. Let the experts at Green Envy help you choose the best treatment program for your lawn this season. Phone lines are open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and Saturday 9 to 1 to take your calls and answer questions. Call Green Envy today at 636-757-1600 or visit greenenvylawns.com and make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
Bet like the pros with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circus Sports is now available in Illinois. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I've been a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. We're excited that the Circus Sports app is now ready for action. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Now you can download, fund, and bet like a pro from anywhere in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
After a serious car accident, people have two questions. Why me and what now? Well, no one knows why you, but I'm Terry Crouppen, and my law firm Brown & Crouppen sure can help with the what now. Car repairs, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. We're Brown & Crouppen, and we've got all those answers. All you have to do is call 222-2222.
Chow Chow on the Hill is your one-stop shop for all your pet supplies. As soon as you walk through their doors, you and your pet are considered family and treated with superior service and personalized attention. Jessica is the owner and is a certified pet nutritionist and is passionate about educating her clients on the product that will keep your pets happy and healthy. My favorite part about Chow Chow is its connection with All Paws Safe Haven, an organization that helps shelter animals find forever homes. To learn more about Chow Chow, visit CIAOCHOWSTL.com or stop by and tell them Plowsy sent you.
John, I'm so tired of this kitchen. We haven't updated anything since we moved in. The stove looks like it's from the 90s, and the rest is... Are you even listening to me?
Did you say something, honey? Yeah, no, kitchen's fine. We have cabinets. There's food in the cabinets. We're good.
Oh my God.
Guys, if this sounds a little familiar, trust me, your wife is probably right. It's time for a remodel. Collier & Thompson is the company to trust. Not just for kitchens and bathrooms, but for any interior remodeling job. Need a new man cave? Collier & Thompson. Office? Collier & Thompson. Bar? You got it. Collier & Thompson. They even do wine rooms and fireplace walls. Collier & Thompson is your go-to source for every design consideration. They carry the best cabinets, appliances, and countertops in the business. And better yet, it's all under one roof. No need to drive around to 5 to 10 different businesses for one job. At Collier & Thompson, they do it all. Their showroom is on Manchester Road in Baldwin, right next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Let Collier & Thompson bring your dream remodel to reality and come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's Sports Talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN or get the podcast on the TMA app now.
It's the Brown & Crouppen Morning After. KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
I just wanna stay inside and sleep. My kids kept me up late last night. Damn kids. As the sun rays come in, here comes that hand as it grabs a hold of me and snatches me up out of my tree stump.
So good.
Damn people. I thought about biting him on the hand. If he does it again, I'll give him rabies. What are they looking for? They're asking me where's my shadow.
I wish there was a camera 5.
Jackson's doing the Lord's work. I think you got a chair situation.
It's like a Where's Waldo. I can barely see it through.
I can't even see it through my lunch
Junk.
pail.
I don't know what happened here.
A lot of junk over there. We need to do some spring cleaning.
My chair is under the table. You can't see on YouTube. But
It's literally
so much headroom in this picture. I just.
Welcome back, friends. It is TMA. If you're watching on YouTube, Iggy is in chair 5. Andy Crouppen is here.
I told
but
him
I think
we're
he's
back on the air.
engaged in conversation.
No, there's nobody in there. Just him.
Oh, is that right?
I said we're back on the air.
Andy! Andy! I thought he was in there talking to Learn. It was me and Andy and Learn in there talking. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Crouppen
Hey, Andy.
walking into the studios here.
Nah, he's late for the break. I was on time.
There you go.
Right. I was waiting to be invited
Yeah,
in.
come on in the waters. Well, we were in there talking to Learn, Iggy, about the profile picture thing. Andy was kind of hosting his own podcast in there and asked for a comment from her. And she turned and paused and pondered. And Andy, she said, no comment.
That's right.
Well, she's just...
And we thought it spoke volumes.
Well, her comment under the picture was BFF for life, so I don't know why there'd be no
She did
comment.
say that.
Yeah, about that.
And then she followed it up with a word that I'm not comfortable saying on the radio.
Oh, my. We have an FCC violation waiting.
Back there, she said it?
Yes, but it seemed like it was in good fun. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
She
have to
seemed
go back.
giggly. It wasn't the awkward, uncomfortable
Yeah,
giggle.
don't make
It
me
was...
barge into that studio and take you to task.
That's right. Let's take a camera in there.
You like this chair I'm in?
Yeah, it looks like Andy, it looks like you're talking to your nephew.
Yeah, it does. That's what it looked like when I used to anchor sports. That's exactly what it looked like.
This feels intentional.
No, it won't go. It won't go up.
Somebody has
Hold on.
sabotaged you.
No, there was probably a really big person in this chair, and
Do you think the
brought it down.
bulk brought the thing down?
No, I mean a tall person.
Yeah.
So, and I can't get it back up now. So that's all right. It's only 30 minutes or so. I sit like this.
Okay, fair enough.
It's good to stretch out the back.
Kind of like reach up to grab your coffee.
Iggy is off camera here for today in seat number 5, camera 5. Andy Crouppen in his seat here as we start our 8 o'clock hour. Coming up in the Schaefer door, 9 o'clock hour, Briana Copage will be with us. When I say Briana Copage, does that name mean anything to you, Andy Crouppen?
Yes, but only because Iggy and I just had a conversation
Oh, is that
about
right?
it. Now, as soon as he put it in context,
You
I
knew.
knew
You just didn't know the
exactly.
name without knowing the context.
That's right. That's right. You know what? I think it's so messed up what happened, although it sounds like she landed on her feet financially.
Indeed, so.
And good for her.
Yeah.
It's just, God, we live in such a messed up world because you know that all of the people who were responsible for her removal were thrilled to find out she had an OnlyFans and were the first people logging in.
I am in awe of that which is deemed a moral compass in 2024 America.
And the moral compass of those judging others' moral compass is something I would deem mostly immoral.
You know what? You had to follow it, but if you did, you were rewarded, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you were saying.
It's
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah,
It
modern-day
really is
Philistines,
messed
that's what you got. Yeah, I agree with you on that. So I'm anxious. We haven't talked to her in a few months, but I think she went from making, like, for real, 40,000-ish a
Yeah.
year to she's become a millionaire.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah, how
which
about
is
that?
wonderful. And I think that there is this, I don't know what it is, scarlet letter that we look down as a society on people who make a living like that. Why? You know, because obviously there's a market for it. Obviously, many, many people like what she is doing and are essentially helping her to make that money, but somehow you look down on her. You're consuming the product. but you look down on her for providing the product, and somehow she shouldn't be making this money. It's so silly. It's
I'd
so
like to know if we were to really dig deep into the psychology of the quote-unquote shaming of the sex worker, where that is rooted. You could go back to puritanical values, sexual repression.
Yeah.
Gentlemen thousands of years ago using women as possessions and shaming sexual desire from the female. I don't know where it all is, but there's something there. You're exactly right.
It just doesn't make sense how people consume the product, but the person providing it is bad, but yet I remain pure.
Right. First time I ever saw that was in St. Mary Magdalene. And I tell the story, people don't think it's true, but it is, that it was like 5th grade. I don't know what our project was. We had to come up with somebody that, was a business person that did well with their life or something like that. I don't know what it was. And I said Hugh Hefner. And my parents got called into school.
Oh, so you said this when you were a kid in school?
Well, I'd been watching my dad's Playboys, and I knew who Hugh Hefner was. And I just said, what's wrong with him? I said, he's a businessman making a lot of money just showing pictures of women. And they couldn't believe a kid in 5th or 6th grade, whatever it was, would say that. And my parents had to come to school.
So what year? That would have been like in the 70s, I guess? Is that right? Yeah.
Oh, during the height of his empire.
Oh, I had all my dad's Playboy pages ripped out and hidden underneath
sticking together
a tool thing.
A tool thing.
It was a little 8-tier thing, had tools on it. It was a little area under there. And I couldn't take his whole Playboy, so I just ripped pages out and fold them up and put them under there. When my parents passed away, we went to the house and cleaned the basement, and we moved that thing. I said, "Oh my God, there was like a stack of ripped up pages still under there." What are these? I go, "Oh, we used to use those in grade school."
It had to be so fun for your siblings.
Yeah, but it goes back to the Catholic religion that nudity's wrong.
But it's not. But it's not. I mean, I'm
that's the first time I
open of my skepticism on religion as perhaps anybody. But it's not limited to Catholicism.
No, that's the first time
it's global.
Even knew that somebody had a problem with that.
Snagglepuss says this is another lie that can't be proven. So, Iggy, did you just make that whole story up about your
I think I told it 3 or 4 times in the last 10 years.
I don't think I've ever heard that one. I don't remember it anyway.
A wealth of stories.
That is true.
What else have we not heard?
I got in so much trouble in grade school.
In grade school, you got in that much trouble?
Yeah, when I was in 8th grade, in 9th grade, went to Brentwood, but my parents still made us go to religion class because Brentwood was a public school.
Right.
And St. Mary Magdalene had a religion class. So we took our friend Shelley Steiniger with us one night. She goes, "Because I'm gonna blast these people because they're against abortion." She's in 9th grade talking about there's nothing wrong with abortion in her religion class. And they blame me for bringing her in, so.
That seems unfair.
Yeah, a lot of problems with St. Mary Magdalene.
Here comes the Culpepper story. That's from the total package.
Everybody just
assumes the Culpepper story is coming.
Every story
to do with anything.
Every story is the Culpepper story, and every caller is the porta potty guy.
That's true.
Okay, I'll bite.
What's the
Culpepper story?
It's like Pavlov's dog.
It has nothing to do with the conversation. So,
Iggy is going to. A quick synopsis. He took a girl to Culpepper's. She was heavier than you thought she was going to be.
Maybe
so you left her
chair.
there. Is that right?
I told her to go and get a reservation. I took off.
How about this, Andy? You have some fans here.
Wow.
Let's see what we got here. This is one of my favorite segments of the week. Thank you, Andy.
Wow.
Andy, that's from the Lake St. Louis Island boy. And
the Lake St. Louis Island boy. Does he does he look like one of the Island boys?
Oh, know the Island boys. Those are Iggy's guys.
Oh, for sure. Really?
No, they've become a joke.
Before they were legit.
Yeah, right. They started a joke. They got worse. Did you see the things where they were making out with each other?
Oh, yeah, they make out with each other.
I have some audio of it, actually.
Would you like to hear, Andy?
An interviewer asked them about why they were kissing, and they did not react positively, I would say.
They don't react positively to much that's asked of them. But
I see a lot of bleeps.
There's a lot of bleeps. I think I caught everything.
Okay.
Now, would questioning the two of them making out with each other, would that fall into the category of that which is not done on this show?
Kink shaming?
Yeah.
Kink shaming?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's illegal.
But
if they're actually.
that's not a kink. That's just.
Are
wrong.
cousins making out illegal?
I think they
Unfortunately, is it really truly a state-by-state thing?
You know what? I remember that. I took the bar in New York, and one of the questions on it was something about, I think, first cousins marrying. And I think it was a trick question because I got it wrong. I'm like, no, of course that's illegal. But I think in New York State, first cousins can marry. Some states they can.
Wow.
Yeah,
so that's
you
a real
expect
thing.
that of other states south of here.
How about that?
Not New York State. You know, there are a bunch of old archaic laws.
Yeah.
And as I'm sure you know, sometimes the way laws get passed, it's because probably some guy in New York State in the 1800s wanted to marry his first cousin.
Right.
And
He had a
forevermore,
little
it's the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yes, Iggy, please tell us a story so the sponsor can't get a word out. That's from Steven Time. That's not fair, though. The sponsor asked Iggy for the story.
That's right. And I don't have that much
They
to
don't
say.
pay attention. You can ask me a question. I'll talk. They'll tell me to shut up.
Where's Shrimply Pebbles this morning?
See if he's in there.
Nothing.
There's a lot going on in this Jeff Lotman Compass Realty text inbox, Andy. I do not see Shrimply Pibbles at the moment. I'm scrolling. I don't see him yet.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't see him yet.
Must have overslept.
I don't know where he is. Yeah,
You'd
but
be upset to know, Andy, that he was up for our Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month this month.
Was he?
He didn't win, but he was up for it.
Yeah, he was nominated. He had that great of a month.
Great month.
Iggy, you sex shame? You shame sex workers. Does Iggy realize he shames sex workers? Do you shame sex workers?
Can you give me an example? Because I love sex workers.
Clip that off. Houseman, that's from Houseman. Is that a take on Jumpman?
Yeah, I think he sent in a picture of his house once, and I
Can you
gave him
give us
that
an
name.
example of how?
He says Lisa Ann and Lana Rhodes.
I don't think I shamed her for what she does. I was upset that she berated me in the air. So if I talk bad about a sex worker, I'm shaming a sex worker?
Houseman, the action's on you. You can call into the Collier and Thompson phone line, 636-9004-TMA. I mean, we could have a counselor here serve as mediator. This will be wonderful.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah, it could be Judge Andy.
That's right. Is Lana Rhodes, is she the one who went out with the guy, Logan Paul's?
She did, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What
was his
Mike Majak.
Big Mike, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
She's a big star.
She was an adult starlet in 2016, and now she's, I think, crossed over mainstream. I don't really follow her, but does she have a podcast or something that's like super successful? Is that right?
Yes.
She's the one shaming sex worker. She said it ruined her life and it's terrible.
But but when you got sideways with Lana Rhodes, it wasn't over the fact that she was an adult star, right?
No,
Am I right?
Because she
fell into Tampa Bay.
Acted like she didn't know me at the AVNs. After us basically
Andy liked it.
After us
You know,
basically making her career by putting her on the air as a newbie, and she became well known, and then she acted like she didn't know me at the AVNs.
Wait, so you are crediting yourself with launching her career?
The show, not me. The show. She was just some timid little. I once did a cock scene with my dad and my brother. Now that was a lot of fun. That's how she talked.
I don't know if you want to pull it up so Andy can hear. The Atlanta was on the show. Huge get for the program.
Yeah.
The person you hear broadcasting now, podcasting Lana Rhodes, sounded different when we had her on. I think this was 2017. Take a listen if you would.
Like one time I shot like a couple scene with like my dad and my brother, and that was a lot of fun to shoot.
Nah, there you go.
Doug's like audible, like groan in the middle.
I know how you feel, though, because I had this, you know who Andy Cohen is? The Bravo guy. So I went to high school with him. He was.
Oh, is that right? You guys were in the same class?
Greyhounds.
He was yeah, that's right. He was a senior when I was a freshman. Clayton High School is a very small school. You know, there's maybe less than 1,000 people. Everybody knew everyone. I knew him without a doubt in high school. Many, many mutual friends. Hadn't seen him in many years. Fast forward, I don't know, a few years ago, we were at an event, and he pretended like he didn't know me. Now, I didn't launch his career, but I know damn well he knew who I was.
And you felt, was he big timing? Is that what you're saying?
You know, looking back, it was more fun to say that he was big timing, but it was, I think, in context, maybe, had I had a moment to like explain, oh, yeah, of course. So I don't want to go too hard on him, but he knew damn well who I was.
You're a bigger star than he is in St. Louis, probably.
Maybe. I don't know. I say that a lot about a lot of people. He may not be one of them. He's got a lot of. He became a big star.
He's huge, man.
Yeah,
doing that New Year's Eve thing every year.
That's right.
With Anderson Cooper. That's big time.
Yeah.
KG in O-Town, who fills in usually when one of us is out. I don't know if you've met him yet, Andy.
I've not met him. I've heard.
He texted in saying that was Exhibit A on why Iggy texted Lisa Ann to try and help Briana Copage.
That was what?
Huh?
That was Exhibit A on why Iggy texted Lisa Ann to try and help Briana Copage. I don't follow, but I was thinking maybe somebody on the dais could.
No, because he played a Lana Road clip, and that's what we were talking about.
Okay.
It's tough to sometimes follow the text based on how fast we change conversations.
Yeah, that's a big part. Let's see. What a load of crap. I was firing hog sauce to Lana long before Bootface got her on the air. That's from Greg Oden's Stovepipe.
Well, maybe you were.
You can't confirm nor deny.
I mean, you can't.
Sources say.
She could have been with Greg Oden. I don't know. She's been with a few NBA players.
KD, didn't he?
No,
always goes back to that draft.
No, it's rumored. Yeah, boy, what a time to be alive. Is rumored to be Bruce Brown.
I thought it was KD.
Well, there was some. She said for whatever reason what's it called, the astrological sign of the person, which would give a birth date, and the only person who fit in there was Kevin Durant.
Okay.
However, it's been rumored that it was Bruce Brown because he's been in a bunch of his games. Andy, of course, he won the championship with the Nuggets last year and is now a Toronto Raptor.
Of course.
But then there was theories that it might have been Blake Griffin because it kind of looked like Blake Griffin. Bruce Brown used to be on the Nets. It's a whole thing. The NBA trade deadline's a whole thing, Andy.
A whole thing. I was just in Denver and I call the elevator and get on, and there are 7 guys, all of them a foot taller than me, all in Miami Heat gear, and I look it up, and obviously they were playing the
Nuggets,
the Nuggets the next night. But it's remarkable. If you are I'm 6 feet tall. If I am with someone who is 5 feet tall, you think nothing of it. 1 foot difference. You then stand next to somebody who is 7 feet tall, and I don't know why, but the foot above you makes such an enormous. I don't think 5-footers feel that when they're with a 6-footer, but God, when you see somebody who's 7 feet tall, it is just remarkable. They are massive human beings.
Man, they're also at the peak physical condition.
Yes.
In addition, so not only are they huge,
right?
I was this will be Jackson Hard-On talk here because Jackson loves the association. Andy, I don't know if you're aware of that. He loves the National Basketball Association. I think when Missouri played Auburn in the SEC Championship, I was in with JaVale McGee. And he's not just like a 6'6" guy. He's
7 feet and change.
And then I feel like there was another time when I was in an elevator with Shane Battier.
Oh,
I don't remember.
Boy, could he
defend.
defend.
That really got you.
Kobe said was the best defender. He would always just put a hand right in Kobe's face, still knock it down. That was prime Kobe. But Shane Battier could really play some defense. Don't have one. Love players.
He's pulling for the Celtics this year.
Pulling for the C's.
Because he beat Jason Tatum when he was in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, Tatum and I are the same age.
Okay.
Played against him kind of my whole life. And then my sophomore year, I went to Ladue, and we beat Chaminade in districts. And I sat there on the bench, Andy, and I've told Tim this before on the podcast. I just been pulled up to varsity. If we had every player injured, they would have played with 4 players before they put me in the game. In that situation, there was 5 Chaminade was starting 5 D1 players.
When did a friend of mine has kids at Chaminade, and we were talking about this yesterday. When did Chaminade, I don't remember this growing up, they became this sports powerhouse that is really unbelievable, especially for St. Louis. I don't feel like the
basketball thing stands out to me.
For sure, but
is it beyond? I mean, I don't remember. I mean, obviously you had the Kachucks,
but I think
they weren't playing there.
Yeah, but they also didn't Stasny possibly go there, and then Ben Bishop.
But I think their baseball program is really
Is that right?
Pretty incredible and intense. I don't know that they're producing professional players in the same manner, but I think close.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, it's tough for St. Louis to
D1.
turn out professional. I mean, certainly there have been some, but it's just tough to go up against Florida, Arizona, Texas.
Right,
right.
right.
But basketball, I think that started with David Lee.
Yeah.
Would Tatum recognize you?
No, no. Not a chance in hell. He just turned, it was his birthday yesterday, or 2 days ago.
How old is he now? 26?
26, yeah. He were, first
God,
time
I feel like he's been in the league, and he has been.
Yeah. His 8th year.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. He's 26, God
7th or 8th
almighty.
year, yeah, it's unbelievable, and he's an MVP candidate, but the thing is, when I first played him in the 4th grade, everyone knew he was going to be a star. Like, obviously, his dad was a huge star here, but everyone knew. Like, he got all the calls. He was already kind of anointed as a 8-year-old, and now at 26, he's an MVP candidate. It's pretty crazy.
It's amazing when you see kids at that age, 8, 9 years old, the level of athleticism that some kids have, you're like, whoa. And you don't see it often, but every once in a while you'll see at one of your kids' games or in one of the adjacent games, you're like, wow, that kid is on another level.
Yeah, man, it was crazy, and I really like he puts on for St. Louis so well. Like, he's always representing him. He's such a great father. You see that on social media with his son. He's really like a great role model for kids in St. Louis and all over the country, but especially in St. Louis to achieve their dreams, because he is a shining
Porter
example.
like that?
What's that?
Wasn't Porter like that? The guy that when he was young, you could tell he was going to be
Michael Porter Jr. Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
he was a superstar in middle school and high school, but he moved high schools a lot and obviously had injury issues.
Huh.
Denver
The
Nugget,
NBA.
though. Yeah. What a time to be alive.
Isn't it? I don't get. It's hard to watch the regular season NBA, and I don't think the NBA does themselves any favors during the regular season either. Like, you'll go and they'll play all of their worst players, none of their starters. You're going to watch. Tatum.
Load management, Andy.
They've done some things to try to get rid of that. Like, you have to play a certain amount of games to be an
Yeah.
MVP, and you can't load manage 2 stars in the same night. But even then, like, I went to the Grizzlies game in early January, and they were playing the Knicks. And my family's from Long Island. I have a lot of Knicks love in my heart. And
That's
Jalen
hard.
Brunson sat out. Julius Randle was on the pitch clock, or pitch count. They did a lot of manipulating with that. The Grizzlies had nobody, so it's like, and it's a Saturday too. Come on. Like, I want to see the stars.
Right.
But it's tough. It's 82 games, and they play 48 minutes. It's hard.
Yeah, but no other sport does that in that manner.
No, but I wouldn't. Hockey would be the only thing that would be comparable, I think, based on the number of games and how hard they're playing, and
But they're still playing their stars. It's not,
no
they're
doubt,
not playing
no doubt.
like preseason.
No, you're not wrong.
Games.
You're not wrong.
And so, but the playoffs, the NBA playoffs, depends on the year. Sometimes it gets really great.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the best players in the world playing as hard as they can. It's
Right.
going to be just incredible.
Yeah. Well, they phoned it in all season. It's time for them to start playing.
Miami Heat last year. Yeah.
Are you a fan of the tournament?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both the play-in and the in-season. I think I just like change in sport is good. Like, it's natural evolution, and the more eyes you can get on it, it worked. They had more eyes on it, and I think it was cool.
Stephen Wildwood, who was our Listener of the Year last year, Milagro
Wow,
Tequila Listener of the Year,
congratulations.
Chairman Stephen Wildwood texted in, I coached 2 NFL players in Little League football. Their ability was crazy. It was a good lesson for parents who thought their kids were great. Not so much. That's from Steve in Wildwood.
Who were those players?
Stephen Wildwood, if you'd like to call in or text in, you would like to know who those players were. I don't know who those players are. Oh, I think I can remember one of them the Rams drafted. I remember him telling us that. Might have gone to Florida State, perhaps? Oh, God, I can't think of it.
Well, Marcus Joyner?
I think maybe that's it.
He played Nickelback.
No, but maybe, I don't know. Alexander, maybe? Was that it? Or is there a Maurice Alexander or something like
There's
that?
Denario, but he played.
No, it wasn't him. Jackson, don't compare the association to the NHL on Balloon Party. You may have rioters down at the fountain. That's from Crestwood Coyote.
Yeah, they'd have to face the hard truth.
What is the hard truth?
Yeah, a lot more eyes on one than the other.
Oh, my. I love the segment of every show where we review examples of Ken's preschool level conflict resolution skills. You can act like a man! That's from Arbor Day, and he won our Texture of the Year last year, and that's presented by Milagro Tequila, Andy.
Arbor Day, so he's out there planting trees.
He is. He's a
See,
big,
you know,
Is that a wild text name to you, just to be named after
one of the more random holidays.
kind of an afterthought holiday? Maybe we should put more emphasis on it.
Thank you. That's what his campaign's all about. Arbor Day.
You know, he's just trying to repopulate the earth with trees, trying to do what he can.
We need
against
trees.
Yeah, we do. Have you ever surveyed the audience and taken, and obviously it would be hard to get good data, but might get fun data, just demographic information? You know, how many of them are felons? How many of them are CEOs?
I was about to actually give you some age data, but felons and CEOs, I don't know on that one.
Self-reported data.
You know what I have found, and I don't know now that you're affiliated with the program, if you have noticed this, this is something kind of like people in polite society is what I will call it.
Uh-huh.
For whatever reason, and I don't really know why, but this show attracts that category, and I have no idea why. I really don't. I'd be curious what the listeners' theories are, if anybody on the dais' theories are. So there's some people with, who have done well for themselves, I guess, for lack of a better term, who listen to the show, even though the show is obviously moronic. But they don't tell other people unless they're like, oh, you listen too. Like it's like a habit they're ashamed of. Like they're a John soliciting someone on a state street late at night. That's kind of the thing that I've noticed over the years, that the show has this following amongst some people in your profession or in medicine, but that they don't necessarily openly talk about it because they're kind of ashamed of it. How about that?
Wait, should I not be telling people? Maybe I haven't listened enough to realize that I should be a little quieter.
It's a weird deal, and I don't know what that's all about, but I just know it to be true.
Huh.
Yeah, strange thing. That's not the so when Jackson and I do a show on 101 ESPN from 10 to 11, there's certainly some of our listeners go down there and listen to the show or go back and podcast it. But there is a whole portion of the listening audience that, just listens to 101 ESPN because all they want is sports. Right. And so that is their thing. And so that is a different audience than this audience. This audience is, I would say, more 20, 30, 40, 50 something, and oftentimes with a professional background, median age, born right around sometime in the early 1980s. That's about what the data has shown. So
with a sprinkle of degeneracy.
Oh yeah, you better believe it. Yeah, there's some degenerates.
Yeah,
gamblers, enjoy their booze, narcotics, stag films, OnlyFans, and that's what we provide. Yeah, we give the people what they want.
And you know what? There are a lot of people who want it. No, I was amazed. I'm still amazed at how many people will, strangers or friends who will say, oh my God, I heard you on the show. I've been listening for years. There really is a very, very loyal audience. And you see why. You let people into your lives. You kind of, the banter back and forth is fun. I listened to the Howard Stern show for many years, and it was a similar type of situation where the people on the show weren't just talking heads reciting their encyclopedic knowledge of sports here you could do. But no, it's more fun. You get to know each other as characters, as humans, and I think it helps you identify.
And then the audience, interestingly enough, which also, I listened to Stern, probably watched him more actually on E. Remember that when it was on E, Entertainment Television? And that's when I became familiar with him. Also with the movie Private Parts in 1997. But it wasn't a strategy. I just certainly was influenced by it, similar to being influenced by Bob Costas or Joe Buck or whomever, because that's who you watch or listen to.
Yeah.
But what I noticed about that show is the show wasn't necessarily about anything. The show was more about the show. And so when we had sports get shut down in 2020 with the pandemic, and I recall, I think the Post-Dispatch called and asked how that was going to impact our show. I go, honestly, I don't even know if we've talked about it because we're not reliant upon, oh God, the Blues aren't playing. What are we going to talk about?
Right.
It's kind of the backdrop for the show. And if something important's going on, like when the Blues made their run in 2019, we were all over it. But you don't force sports topics when there really isn't a sports topic, because then you're narrowcasting and you're not really appealing to people. Certainly some people will be interested in a regular season Blues game in October or a regular season Cardinal game in April, but not many, And so even though that wasn't a strategy, now looking back on it, because of the influence of the Stern show, and now, Andy, podcasting where you broadcast for like an hour at a time and you don't have to sit there and go, God, I got to hit a break. That's what I think younger people are more accustomed to listening to. They're not accustomed to listening to like chopped up segments. They podcast. They watch shows on YouTube, and that is more free-flowing. And so it happens to, luckily for us, correlate with what younger people are used to consuming from a content standpoint.
What did happen to those sports shows when sports stopped? Were they still on the air?
I think there were a lot of like interviews with people who did stuff in the past, and a lot of like lists of things that just
Mount
coming
Rushmore
up.
Season.
It was Mount Rushmore season. Mount Rushmore of Cardinal players players from the 90s. Mount Rushmore,
All right.
you know.
French fries.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, God.
I guess that
Let me
makes
tell you something.
Yeah.
Thank God you and I weren't doing Balloon Party in 2020.
Oh, Lord. I mean, we'd have to get creative. And there would have been some fun times doing it. But yeah, I mean, it'd be like breaking down The Last Dance. Like, that was a real thing that SportsCenter would do right
that's
after.
true.
Right after.
Remember that, the Bulls show?
Yeah.
The people, that was like that was the sports topic for Monday. Yeah, I don't
Just
know.
breaking down like what happened on The Last Dance, which of course happened 30 years prior.
Yeah, you give me a choice between, I don't know, who would be, I don't know, Drew Bannister, for example. If we could have him at 9 o'clock or Briana Copage, it's nothing against him. I love the Blues. I was at the game on Saturday. My son plays. But I want to talk with Briana Copage. That's just where I am.
Yeah.
You know, I certainly don't apologize for it. That's what I'm interested in, and I know that's where more of our audience is.
Well, you're a
interested,
Renaissance
too.
man. You've got varied interests.
I really enjoy the stag industry. I really do.
We don't kink shame.
And we don't kink shame, and that's a very key part of it. So yeah, I'm thrilled that you guys have gotten involved with the show, but then also that audience members are coming up to you and saying, "Hey." That people love when you and Ed are on the show. They really do. I was reading some of those texts.
We have a great time. It's really fun being here. You guys, it's a very welcoming environment. It's fun. It's fast paced. You can go any direction at any minute.
Well, you're like one of us. Both of you are just kind of like us. You know, you talk about what's on your mind. You don't shy away from anything.
Right.
You know, you're not embarrassed by anything we talk about. So you fit right in perfectly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a great compliment, Andy. If you fit right into the nonsense.
There you go.
As he's hanging at the
As Iggy's hanging off the table in the low-rise chair. All right, here Stephen Wildwood, Iggy, has said, here are the two players. Maurice Alexander,
Okay.
who was drafted by the Rams. Hassan Haskins, is that how you pronounce his name? Haskins? I don't recall him. Drafted by the Titans. Both played at Eureka. Let me make it clear, I had nothing to do with their success. They were sick athletes. It's from Stephen Wildwood. So I don't know if you see this with your children. I'm the only person in here today. Doug is on vacation with children myself. If you see like somebody who the kids are playing, but then you see a kid who's at another level. So I've seen some ridiculous hockey players. Oftentimes they have NHL bloodlines. And then there's one kid who's on my son's soccer team where I go, oh my God, I can't wait to see what happens with him over the next 10 years, just because it seems like he's in another world. And plus, his father told my father that when they get done with the game, he'll keep his cleats on and he'll be in the backyard kicking balls for the next 2 hours because that's all he wants to do. So that's kind of that intangible. You might have the ability, but do you have the love to just keep doing it and doing it and doing it that you can't force? And those are the kids that I'd be curious what it was like when Stephen Wildwood was seeing those guys. Because you have to have the gifts, but then you also have to have the interest that leads to practicing, even though you don't feel like you're practicing because it's what you love.
Yeah, the intrinsic love for it.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because some of those kids at that age, they just become obsessed with the sport. They're not working hard. It's just that's all they're interested in.
That's
all they want to do.
That's all they want to do. Right. So I know I recently said this because I saw it pop up on my TikTok feed. Gretzky doing an interview with Joe Buck. And Joe was rattling off his stats and how he scored like 350 or 400 goals when he was 10 in a season. I mean, and Joe goes, how many hours a day do you practice? He goes, honestly, I probably practiced a lot, but it didn't feel like practice because all I did was play.
Right.
So I didn't view it as, I got to go out and practice. And that's the thing.
Like breathing almost.
That's the kind of thing that's separate. Yeah, this is what you want to do.
I wonder if they try to Gretzky's playing youth hockey. Do they try to keep him? I mean, because it almost ruins the game for everyone else.
Well, he was playing like big time up. Yeah. You know, I don't remember what to describe. I want to say he was playing with 10-year-olds when he was 6, but having a 6-year-old, I can't imagine a 6-year-old, not my son, but the best 6-year-old. Yeah, just the size. Yeah. Like there's a difference between 6U and 8U. I can already see it. Right. Much less 6U and 10U. But who knows? I mean, maybe he was.
Once you get up to like 13 or 14 and playing with 17-year-olds, I feel like that's a little more common than like you're saying.
Puberty.
A 6-year-old playing a 10-year-old. Like that's two different humans at that point.
Yeah.
But maybe the great one defied all of that.
Yeah.
Or a hell of a turtleneck, Andy. I really like that turtleneck look.
Andy Crouppen, Brown and Crouppen, presenting sponsor here of TMA. Always enjoy it when you come in, sir. Stick around if you would like to listen to Briana Copage. Maybe you have some questions for her. She's with us at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Iggy talked it over with you. Was that a text or was that a phone conversation yesterday?
No, I called her because I texted her a couple times. She didn't get back to me, so I said, let me try calling her. And she answered. And I said,
how about that?
I said, I didn't mean to bother you again. I said, I know I texted you A couple times, but you probably get 1,000 texts a day, so I thought I would call.
I want to right there.
Later, I was actually apologetic for doing that.
Yeah, that's some 1-2 right there.
Some people do things a different way.
Is anyone subscribed to her OnlyFans?
I don't even know if I follow her on Twitter. I got to see what's doing. She just got enhancements. Yeah, I do follow her on Twitter, so I guess she hasn't been tweeting much.
That's a cost of
Enhancements.
doing business.
Amen. Absolutely. So yeah, she just got enhancements, and so is it a write-off?
Well, you have to think.
I don't know.
And so she was kind of sitting it out for a while they settled in.
Okay.
But now I think she's
Taking
back.
it seriously.
Absolutely.
Taking her recovery seriously.
Is that on
back.
Twitter? Did she put that on Twitter?
I know our listeners were texting it in left and right.
Twitter was she's got a gape video out.
Put that off.
Come again?
Gaping video out.
Which is?
I can't say it on the air.
Oh, I'm sure you can find it.
I got to be honest with you. I think here, as his lead counsel, and what an honor it is.
Doug always talks about a wide base.
But that's probably we'll let you know off the air.
Really?
Yeah.
So there are things that you can't even describe if you're using proper language?
The way I have learned it is it's always best to err on the side of caution because there was a time, I think it was like 2006, I want to say, where the FCC really went on a crusade with like picking people off for that which was deemed obscene, which of course is subjective.
Right.
What was the Supreme? Are you familiar with that famous Supreme Court justice? I don't know obscenity. I know when I see it, something like that. How do you like to handle that as an attorney?
You know, but I thought with the FCC it had gotten to the point, and maybe, you know, I'm guessing it ebbs and flows, where it was very technical. Like if you...
It was the Carlin 7 dirty words. It really was.
Right. And if you said it, that's wrong. But if you described it in using acceptable language, I thought you were cool, but maybe not.
No, it's just one of those things. I mean, it probably would be fine. Like if you watch certain cable shows now, they will use the S word.
Yeah.
Which, you know, a decade ago may have been, oh my God, I can't believe it. Now it's not a big deal. The F word is still in its own world. One of the things...
Not in my house.
One of the things I find most amazing is I can say ass, but then if I attach the word whole to it, theoretically it's an FCC violation.
Right.
And same thing with damn, can say that, but then if you attach God to it, then it becomes profane. And so you don't necessarily agree with it. You just kind of know the rules.
Technically, that's not an FCC violation.
What's that?
What is
that one's not an FCC violation.
G-damn is not? Is that right?
Just Catholic people hate it, and they will complain to your office or your manager that they heard it, but it's not an FCC violation.
Huh.
Is that right? Wow. How about
I'm
that?
actually surprised by that.
I have not used that word, and I stopped using it myself.
Because?
I used to say it all the time, and I said, you know what, that's really taking the Lord's name in vain. Really, I don't need to do that. So I stopped doing it. Every time I start to do it, gosh darn it.
Huh.
I won't say it. I'll cuss like a sailor, but then when I say, gosh darn it, I sound like a little...
Philip Rivers.
Little Hoosier. Philip Rivers. Gosh darn it.
Because you went through Catholic school, right?
Yeah.
Is that the influence shining through?
That
it
one
got
was,
to you.
Yeah. It did. I do enough things to piss him off. I don't need that.
My wife went all through Catholic school and has a similar reaction.
To what?
GD.
Oh, is that right? Really?
Yeah, I think that, you know, for her whole life, she was told how horrible this was. And listen, to some it is. But that was just never part of no one ever told me that. It was just like the S word. It was just like any other curse word.
Right.
You know, you stub your toe, what are you going to say?
Right.
And
S word or...
Oh, you can't say that. People are so offended. I was like, who? I wish they would say something to me.
How about this? I'm a tax CPA. Strippers and adult detainers can write off fake breasts. It was ruled in tax court to be similar to nurses writing off scrubs. How about that?
I think it makes sense.
How about that?
You know, here's why I wasn't sure, because our old CFO, when we would do a commercial shoot, we'd say, well, hey, can we go buy a suit and put it on the business? Nope, can't do that, can't do that. So ask who's this?
No, this was Norfolk Steak.
Norfolk Steak.
He sounds like an attorney.
Was our CFO right, or can I go out there and put a suit on the corporate card so I can get breast implants on the corporate card and go on social media? But I can't buy a damn suit.
I wonder if it would be different if it was a suit and the intention of it was to be worn in court, because that's like something you do like as your profession, as opposed to the video. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't think it would make a difference because for me, you know, my job is appearing in commercials more than it is often appearing in court, although I've been in a courtroom once or twice. Actually, you know who would be an outstanding trial lawyer, and I beg him to do it, Ed Herman. He has done it in the past, has not done it in a while, and as you've seen on the show, just his quick-witted thinking and his ability to make an argument that really you could have been opposed to what he was saying. You're like, oh man, that makes sense.
Yeah, he makes a case.
He would be. He's like the greatest who never was when it comes to trial lawyers.
Is that right?
And I think he has an interest in it, but it's hard to sort of switch gears and do something very different.
Sure.
But one day I think he will do it, and he will be outstanding at it.
He will be a wizard at it. That would.
Did you ever get the DNA test results?
It should be coming any day, I would think, right? I mean, it's been about 4 weeks since you did it.
You holding out on us?
No, Jackson hasn't.
So they'll be sent to you?
Well, they're sent to Iggy, and then Iggy, I tried that password that you gave me, and it wasn't working.
Uh-oh.
Huh.
What's the password?
Hacked? I'm not going to say the password out loud here.
No, I couldn't make heads or tails
It's his
of
bank
it.
password, too.
I couldn't
It's
make
like when
heads or
Larry
tails of
Nickel
it.
tweeted out his social security number.
I got on there, and then they started asking me more questions. Tell us about your grandpa. Tell us about what?
Huh.
So I tried logging on because I made the account, and then I guess when you got the results, you changed the password naturally because that's how you got
Well, 'cause I
access.
didn't have a password, and they
Right,
made
right.
me do one, so I changed
You
it.
didn't accidentally go to like 24 and me, did you?
No, I was getting text updates.
Hosted in Russia.
And it says it's in, but I couldn't like log in.
Why don't you just go in and change a password? Say you forgot the password and change it.
It's going to send it to your email address. We're going to need to do this together, big dog.
Well, I'll go in and find the password and give it to you.
So the answers are emailed to you? That's how this works?
The results, yes.
The results?
But they emailed me nothing other than it showed me that I was 58%. God, what was it? 58% Lebanese, 26% German, 12% Caribbean island nation.
Oh.
Something else, and then they start asking questions. To learn more, tell us about your grandpa and your grandma and your maiden name and where they were. I don't know. So they're asking for more. Don't you know that already? You got my DNA. You should know who my grandparents are.
Yeah, but that sounds like maybe you've got some results in.
Oh, he does. I think so. At least that's
is that right?
That's what it seemed like to me.
It says see results, and then there's no results, and they ask more questions. And for $20.95, we can go even further in your tree. So I'm not paying any more money. I didn't pay any money. But
We've got to get, what do they call you, baby girl, on this?
Right.
Clip that off.
Well, I'm trying to. If I can just get, if I can get the password, I will figure out everything. I will take care of it. I just need once we get into the account.
My password and
we're good.
do another one. I know that's what it is, but maybe did you use a capital?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
The old password, I guess now that it's moot, was uncut 1992.
Well, we're not holding out on anybody. It had no information other than the breakdown of where my.
All right.
My
so let me know if you find this, and Ed and I'll come in together and.
I'm looking
by
forward
next
to
week
the big
we'll
reveal.
have.
Is that right? You think so?
Oh, 100%.
No, well.
Well, as long as if the results are in, to my knowledge that they are. If I have no doubt we're going to be able to get into the account. Once we do that, we'll have all the information.
Are you allowed to bet on the air?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I mean, because I feel like
you want to bet on something? I'll bet with you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some before we reveal. Are there any children? Are there how many?
Oh, we got to lay out
under?
odds on that.
Yeah.
Iggy, what percentage you would say that you have children? What do you think?
1%.
Yeah, I was probably thinking like a low single.
I don't want to go zero because
that's a 100-to-1 payout there.
I feel like Ed and I were just talking about this the other day, actually. And
even in your off time, you're talking about.
Yes, for sure. He was telling me, I didn't hear this, that there was a time when you had relations with many, many women, and when he was giving me some of those numbers, I think that 1% is very, very low.
No, because I would think that, I would almost say 0% because that just is stupid. There could be.
Right. We're all.
But for most of the time, I wear a condom. And I think if I didn't and they got pregnant, they would tell me that I was pregnant to try and get money out of me. It's your kid, I need money. They're not just going to, I'm pregnant, I'm not going to tell that idiot I'm pregnant. No, they would try to get something out of me.
For sure, but my understanding, and maybe I misunderstood, was some of these happened offshore.
Offshore.
Oh, yeah, they happened in other countries.
And maybe weren't, people who knew how to get in touch with you again, or...
Probably, possibly, but I don't know. If they remember my name, they could probably find me. I'm just trying to
find
my
before the internet.
I was wondering what you were doing. Andy's talking and you're looking.
I had my ancestors.
The IRS couldn't find you back then. I mean, I don't know.
Well, maybe.
So you would take 100-to-1 play, it sounds like.
Oh, I absolutely would, for sure.
I'm going to withdraw from that one.
Does some of that, would there be something like, I mean, at this age, especially the kids, 18, 20, so it's not like you're going to be changing diapers. I would think there's actually almost something like that would be kind of cool about it.
It would, especially if they're very wealthy. Hey, take care of Pops.
You can't say that on the air because now they're not. If they are wealthy, they're going to be like, screw him. I don't want to.
Well, they're not listening. Wouldn't it be odd that one of my kids actually listens to the show?
Shrimply Pebbles. Wonderful. Shrimply Pebbles is Iggy's son.
God, did you see there was an article? It was a couple of weeks ago about accidental incest.
I have not seen this story.
Yes.
About the Island Boys?
No.
That you didn't actually know was your long-lost
It was
brother or
about
sister?
these people who I guess were the product of fertility clinics. And there was a woman who ended up with her brother.
The roulette wheel of life, Andy, and you get 00.
Oh, my goodness.
So, Iggy, what do you have to find your password, and then that's the issue?
Yes.
How's this going for you?
Well, I sent it to Jackson.
Jackson, do you have the password?
No, I sent it to him, and he didn't know the password, and I know the password. I gave it to him. Now I'm trying to find some place where I can...
This is like a tongue twister.
Switch my password.
Right.
So I can...
So when I set up the original account, I put the email and password that I made. Iggy got the results and changed the password as that was the right thing to do, so he could access it. He should be the one to see his results first, not me.
Seems
and then the password that he told me to change it to, I've tried and it has not worked. So as soon as we get that squared away, I can dive deep into these results.
Oh, this is exciting.
And see what we got.
Wow.
Yeah. So
we got something to look forward to.
So you may find out Iggy's a father before Iggy finds out.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know what? That's a gift to me for handling the man's spit. When I sent in the DNA collection, that is my reward, is I get to find out first.
If you don't find out before him, can we have one of those gender reveal parties? Shoot off a pink or blue.
Iggy hits a driver and the ball explodes.
And then immediately served with papers for backloaded child support. That'd be a tough day.
We got a big doings here coming up in the next week, then, it sounds like.
It could be any moment if we find out.
Oh, yeah.
You got the cash already.
Well, I wasn't going to spit into it until I got the cash.
I won't spit until they send the cash.
Andy Crouppen with us every Tuesday, Ed Herman with us every Tuesday, and maybe both of you will be in next Tuesday because we could have the results from Iggy's DNA test next week. Andy, thank you as always, sir. There he is, the great Andy Crouppen here on TMA, presented by Briana Copage. We'll take a break, come back with Briana Copage next on TMA.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lutman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflutman.com, bringing people and properties together.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown and Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222, because at Brown and Crouppen, justice is our business.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and I have been a long-time Design Air client. What separates you guys from everybody else?
It's becoming more common for companies to just get their foot in the door. They try to come up with different ways to upsell. They try to see how much they can make off of a customer as opposed to, hey, we're in there to do a service. We're going to do it well. We're going to do it for a fair price.
I don't know how many emails I have received from our listeners who experience the incredible customer service Design Air Heating and Cooling provides. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com.
Temperatures are finally warming up here in St. Louis, and while that means more fun in the sun, it could also spell disaster for your lawn. Rain equals spring weeds, and now is the best time to get ahead of it. Green Envy has been here in St. Louis for more than a decade, servicing and treating lawns just like they would their very own. Crabgrass can lay dormant for years until the conditions are right, and the massive amounts of moisture we've had is sure to wake up even the oldest crabgrass seeds. Green Envy only uses products that have been formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types, not national generic products that are insufficient and ineffective. Let the experts at Green Envy help you choose the best treatment program for your lawn this season. Phone lines are open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and Saturday 9 to 1 to take your calls and answer questions. Call Green Envy today at 636-757-1600 or visit greenenvylawns.com and make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially. Saving for retirement and college while also paying bills and enjoying life along the way. Call Mark Hanna. Mark works with you to design a strategy to do your finances right. It's a straightforward approach that starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs. Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, a broker-dealer. Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and is not owned or operated by Equitable Advisors or Equitable Network.
The Illinois Recovery Center is dedicated to providing precise and authentic care to those seeking help and treatment. Recovery, it's not just a goal, it's a transformative journey. At Illinois Recovery Center, you'll find an unwavering commitment to provide the support, guidance, and personalized care you or your loved one needs to rediscover a life filled with purpose, strength, and lasting renewal. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
This is wide receiver Luther Burton III. Come support NIL and get a quote from my friend James Carlton.
Thanks, Luther. That's right. For every quote you mention, Luther Burton III will make a donation to NIL on your behalf. Getting a quote is easy. Just go online at carltoninsurance.net. Call or text 314-961-4800. If you have drivers under the age of 25, if you're seeing rising rates, give us a call or text us 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. Let's keep the momentum going.
In business since the 50s, Collier & Thompson are known for kitchen and bathroom remodels. But they do so much more. If it's an interior remodeling job, Collier & Thompson can probably help. Basements, wine rooms, man caves, bars, accent rooms, fireplace walls, office, you name it. No need to visit 5 to 10 showrooms when Collier & Thompson provides all your needs in their showroom on Manchester Road in Baldwin. Come home to quality with Collier & Thompson. Let them bring your dream remodel to reality. CollierandThompson.com.
I get asked all the time by people, if I'm in an accident, what should I do? And while yes, you should call the police, exchange insurance information, and take pictures of the scene, all those things are important. But the most important thing you need to do is hire a personal injury lawyer. This is Doug Biggs from Longo Biggs Injury Law. And if you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't take on the insurance company yourself. Insurance companies have teams of people and a playbook designed to keep you running in circles so they can pay you as little money as possible for your accident claim. If you don't have a lawyer, they know you can't bring your claim to court, and they will never give you full value.
We recently took an offer from an insurance company without a lawyer on the case from $12,000 to $200,000. You can't get that kind of result without an attorney on your case. Even if you don't hire us, you need to hire a personal injury attorney. Check us out online at longobigs.com.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Butter me up, Daddy.
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Welcome back. This is TMA presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. Timothy Michael McKernan and Darren Atkins. Two-man show now. Plowhawk had to cut back expenses, and Tommy Mattern and HR met with Jackson and Iggy during the commercial break.
How's that meeting?
And parted ways. But just like when the Plowhawk was fired in 2019 on KFNS, Jackson has decided to finish out the day, even though he was terminated a moment ago.
Want to is what we like to
I gave Tommy an Io DeSumo Bulls jersey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
my
like,
gosh.
He was like
I
an
prefer that.
IOL, and then he let me continue the work.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why I get a six-figure salary, because
That's right.
he's ILL.
That's right. Kofi Coburn.
Briana Copage going to join us here in the 9 o'clock hour. Looking forward to talking it over with her. Haven't talked with her in a few months, so I'm anxious to see what's been doing. So Briana's going to join us here in a matter of moments. And Ken Strode, I would imagine, will be back. And he is! And he is! Send your emails in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. That comes your way at 9:45. Jackson and I will deal with the situation down the hallway. We will be fine. Don't be worried. It's called Balloon Party. That's from 10 to 11. And then, Jackson, when can we get it on with QFTA?
Right after I post Balloon Party.
And what time's that?
I'd say 11:25.
All right, there it is. That'll be on youtube.com/TMASTL, the Tim McKernan Show podcast. QFTA, send your questions, comments, erotic stories, TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. It's the Schaefer Door Company 9 o'clock hour. Schaefer Door, new sponsor of our 9 o'clock hour, just like Collier & Thompson is our new sponsor of the phone lines here on TMA. And we would like to recommend Schaefer Door to our audience. It's SCHAEFER, SCHAEFER. And the website is schaeferdoor.com. Let me tell you something. I had this happen a few years ago. It's the worst. You go, what was that? You hear a loud bang, and then your garage door crashes, and you go, what in the world was that? Once you've had it happen, you know exactly what happens. That spring broke, and you need somebody to come out and replace it, and you need it quick, fast, in a hurry because you might not be able to get out. Well, Schaefer Door will be that company, and here's what you do. They have given a number specifically for our audience members. 636-782-3608. 636-782-3608. That's the number for Schaefer Door. They service all kinds of garage doors, both service and new installations. Plus, they service commercial doors as well. It's Schaefer Door online at SCHAEFER. door.com, and any emergency you may have or any interest you may have in doing business with them, 636-782-3608. Schaefer Door is a Clopay Master Authorized Dealer. Schaefer Door Company sponsor of our 9 o'clock hour. The EDF Group is a sponsor of Doug's Hot Take Mittens. Jackson's been sporting those while Doug's been vacationing in the Hamptons. Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? It's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher at your work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at the edfgroup.com. Well, Iggy, why don't you handle the introduction? It's time to talk it over.
Well, we got to know her when she was outed by some kids' parents that happened to be on OnlyFans and wanted to rip her because she was on OnlyFans, even though they were searching OnlyFans. But she became a OnlyFans superstar. Briana Copage. Talked to her yesterday. Hey, Briana.
Briana Copage joining us here on TMA.
Good morning.
Morning, Briana. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
Now
I'm all right.
That wasn't met with normal enthusiasm. I picked up a read, Jackson. I don't know. I could be wrong. Is there something off? What's going on? Let's figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, things over the last couple months, I've just kind of, just been, I guess, good. Paid off, like, all my bills, and we're going to buy a house, and just kind of, like, living life, I guess. But I did, I'm experiencing some difficulty again, I guess. I decided that I wanted to try to go back to work because when I stay home, I feel like I kind of lack purpose. Like I need some like motivation to get out of the house and stuff like that. So I found myself a day job, and I made it exactly 5 days in that day job. And yesterday, I was pulled into HR and put on leave.
Oh, God.
So that's where we are.
Oh, my goodness.
They didn't know you were on OnlyFans when you took the job, obviously?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. They admitted to not looking me up, and they didn't call my references. And I don't even think they called my previous employment. So.
Okay, I have hundreds of questions. This might have to carry over into balloon party here, Jackson. No, let me start here. I was under the impression that after everything had transpired and you became nationally or internationally known, and the OnlyFans price point increased exponentially, the subscribers increased exponentially, that you had gone from making something like $42,000 a year to becoming a millionaire. Is that an accurate representation, or am I off on that?
No, that's accurate. Like I said, I took the job because I wanted to work. Like, I want to get out of the house. Like, I don't.
So you weren't looking for, you weren't in financial need?
No.
Okay, got it.
Was it a winter thing, mental health thing?
Yeah, that's part of it. I definitely suffer with seasonal depression. Since it's been warmer, it's gotten a little better. But it's just, I don't know, just personal. I feel like I'm a better person when I have a schedule and I need to, like, be somewhere and I have consistency and purpose.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, all right. So this speaks to my ignorance, Briana, because my intuition would be, well, then if you're looking for purpose, then shoot content, and that would be the purpose. Make money via shooting content, but perhaps it's not that simple.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like if you think about the person that I am in my background, my goal was never to be an OnlyFans star. I come from a background of, like, helping people. And, OnlyFans was never supposed to be my career.
Okay, so then that makes so therefore, because then my next question would be, and then you can go shoot content in L.A. I know Las Vegas isn't necessarily warm right now. L.A. or South Florida, and then you can get out of the St. Louis winter, albeit as you noted, it hasn't been too terrible this year, and then that can get you out, and then you're making money. But based on what you just told me, if your goal was not / is not to become more prominent in the adult industry, then therefore you wouldn't be going to Los Angeles or South Florida to shoot content. Am I putting all of this together correctly?
Yeah, I'm still just a normal girl who was a teacher who got found out, and it's just never my goal to be an OnlyFans star, although it happened, and I'm still doing OnlyFans. I don't know. I feel like I still have. There's just a purpose out there that hasn't been fulfilled yet.
Without mentioning a company, because you were a teacher before that, what did the job entail that lasted 5 days? I mean, what were you doing? Just did it had to do working with people? Was it an office job?
Yeah, I was going to be helping people, giving support, things like that. So, yeah, I can't say a whole lot right now.
No, that's fine.
I am definitely curious about how this will transpire, though.
And when you say you're curious how it all transpired as to how it was found out, is that what you mean?
Oh, no, they did tell me that employees were complaining about me.
Sure, as they watched your videos.
It goes back to our 8 o'clock hour discussion on the moral compass. What a time we live in. So, Briana, to be clear, are you still uploading and selling content on OnlyFans, or are you done with that?
I am.
You are? Okay.
Yes.
So what is, if a gentleman, or even better, a lady, wanted to go view said content, what is the going rate right now?
I have 2 pages. One is like $20 a month, or $25, I think, if you want to just pay an all-inclusive price. And then the other one is $15, but then you have to pay more for the videos. So it just depends.
That's kind of cheap, actually, for OnlyFans.
Live read.
Well, I get nothing out of them. So, yeah. Are you? I wondered this when you got into OnlyFans, because you're just doing, simple content and having fun with it, and then you were outed. Now you're making good money at it. Where do you find, besides your husband, where do you find people to do videos with you? I mean, I know Erica Swings and some other people, but is there a community where you get to meet people and, hey, let's do a scene together? Where do you find the people that you put in your videos? I'm not saying for myself.
HD2 Radio.
No, I'm not doing it myself.
And I think everybody knew that.
No, I said it would be a cock in a video, but where do you find the people that you participate with in the videos, or do they ask you to come join them?
So, Life and Style is a group in St. Louis, and we meet a lot of people there, a lot of like-minded people. It's essentially like a swinger group, but they throw parties, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people who come to these parties. So that's a really good place to meet people. Other than that, Twitter's a good place to, it's X now, to meet other creators. So those are the main spaces.
Did you ever get out to L.A. and sit down with Caden or talk to Caden?
So I met with Vixen, one of their producers. We just kind of decided not to go that route. But
now, when you say we, like you and your husband, or you and
yeah, we did. We sat down. We had dinner.
Interesting. So you meet with them. I mean, if memory serves, I think you and I were texting, and I also texted with Caden, and she really did want to meet you. And I think something happened where she wasn't able to go to that dinner when you were in LA. But there was interest on her side, and she has now gone from performer to director and whatever, one of the top directors, I guess, in the industry is my understanding. So anyway, so then you come back to St. Louis and you talk with your husband, because once you take that step, albeit the OnlyFans thing's a big thing, I think that if you start shooting with them, now you're going up into another stratosphere. So you and your husband talk about it and decide against it. What was the thought process, Briana?
Yeah, I don't know really. It just seemed like a big move at the time, and I just also didn't. I don't know. It was never. I guess it was just never. Like I said, it kind of goes back to like my goals and who I am, and that was kind of never like where I saw myself and not my purpose, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah.
So you consider yourself, because if you shoot with Vixen, that's a different realm. But being on OnlyFans, do you consider yourself a porn star?
No, I don't.
See, if you go into Vixen, then all of a sudden you're a porn star.
Right.
Now, Mr. 63011, Briana, he has a very fast golf cart, and he also has a suggestion. How about this? Take the OnlyFans funds and then start a business working for someone else. What about that? That I have to tell you, I think there's some merit in that idea.
Absolutely. I am trying to figure out, like, I'm not opposed to working for myself, but I just have to figure out, like, what does that path look like? What kind of business could I start? So, yeah, I'm not really sure. Kind of, we'll see where things go.
You know what we need here? And I was talking with Courtney. She does the morning show on the Arch. And we were talking the other day, and we both agreed, what we need in this area is a coffee shop.
What?
Briana,
Let's say you went to Brown.
Yeah, say you went to Brown and you had to start a coffee shop. You start the Briana Copage coffee shop. People know who you are. You come in.
Yeah, Beans by Briana.
Beans
goes
by
so
Briana.
well in the Central Corridor.
You have a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Sell some Danish.
Yeah.
People can just come in, sit on their laptop, have coffee,
Lindbergh going
hang out with you.
What about refurbished?
that was a Keisha Gray answer there. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, it's Shark Tank. You know, we're in the early stages here. We're just kind of brainstorming.
Right.
I'll be a barista for you. So much. Maybe a bookstore.
Oh, keep throwing ideas out.
I'm thinking like refurbished Sibian, like, because we talk about that all the time. Wampum PP Corp already has an LLC.
Frozen yogurt's huge.
Maybe a professional tutor. Anything. I don't know.
Nice.
I'm just spitballing.
Right. Not necessarily catching a lot of fish
No,
just
it's
yet,
not,
but either way.
we need a coffee shop.
So, Briana, either way, you have some capital. You could create your own business, and then, I don't know, I got to tell you. I mean, obviously I don't know what your goals are, but clearly you're having a tough time being an employee, and I gather that's going to continue. I mean, this is going to be something that happens again and again. So this is the way you can have that purpose and have a purpose taking the money you've made from OnlyFans and then not having to worry about, some modern-day Philistine taking you out again when they find out that you're the OnlyFans teacher. So that to me strikes me as the solution.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're correct. I don't know. Yeah, it is a frustrating situation, especially because they didn't. I don't know. They definitely didn't do their due diligence, and I don't feel like that's. I feel like that's on them. But I don't know. I don't know.
What's the weirdest offer you got when you became famous? I know you're...
Open the coffee shop?
No, yeah, well, that was...
I would say
that was just a suggestion. It wasn't an offer.
Right.
Your teacher friend who also got outed. I always forget her name. I'm sorry.
Megan Gaither?
Megan, yeah. Megan, she was offered, I think the Hustler Club was going to pay her to go feature for a couple hours on a Saturday night, and I think she ended up turning it down. What is the weirdest offer you got when people knew who you were, as far as work?
I don't know if it was. I've really had like weird offers. So Megan and I actually met with Unfiltered, who was going to sponsor that Hustler night. And we were going to both do it. But we kind of just decided at the time, like, she had an offer that she thought came through of, like, her teaching salary. Like, they were going to pay her teaching salary, and then they end up, like, cutting it down, and then they were going to split, like, $8,000 between the two of us. I don't know. That's kind of why we didn't go through with that. But I really haven't had any weird offers, to be honest.
Okay. I mean, that really wasn't a weird offer to feature, but I was just curious if guys are coming up to you and saying, hey, you know, I'll feature with you. I got a bunch of followers. Let's do this, but you have to do this. And I don't know. I'm just sure they came out of the woodwork.
You did a plug talk, right, with Lena the Plug and Adam 22?
I did.
How was that
Yes,
experience?
I did. Yeah, that was really good. It was definitely good for publicity, subscribers and followers.
I saw a bit of that sex tape afterwards, too.
It was a nice experience. Yes.
Now, when you say nice, like, it was an enjoyable show, or you're talking about the sex with, what was his name? Adam 22?
Adam 22.
And then Lena?
The Plug.
The Plug.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that, Brianna? That's very important to me.
I think the whole thing was just good. I don't know if you've seen the video, but I don't know. Adam just did a good job.
Yeah, right, okay. It sounds like he's a good performer.
Yeah, and you seem to enjoy it.
What about Lena? What about your experience with Lena?
Yeah, I mean, good too. She was great. She's super nice.
Sounds like you really like that Adam, though, more. That's my read. I mean, maybe my reads are off here, Jackson. I don't know.
I think you're picking up.
I'm typically into men more.
No, I don't want to hear that, but I understand.
It seems to me, I mean, how would you feel about that? I mean, how would you feel if we said we want to get you on the show, but you have to have sex with us? Isn't that basically you can't go on that show without having
sex? Get hotter.
No, can't you? Isn't that the prerequisite? You can go on the show, but you have to have sex with them afterwards?
This is going to be a real bummer for Gabe.
No, seriously, you can't go on. Say, I'll come on your podcast, I'm not going to have sex with you. They wouldn't put you on. You have to have sex with them both if you go on the podcast, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, I say, Brianna, you want to join us tomorrow at 9? You got to have sex with us if you want to come on. We would never do that.
I think it's because, well, I think they can do that because they have so much publicity.
Yeah, they have quite a following.
Like, it gets them more publicity. It gets you more publicity if you go on their show. So it's like mutually beneficial.
Yeah, kind of like this one.
I thought you had a follow-up, Biggie. I apologize.
No, the laugh kind of got me on that one. We're done.
KG in O-Town has a question. He says, quick follow-up. Where did Iggy see the tape, and how much did he pay for it? That's from KG in O-Town.
Well, it's all over the place.
Which tape are we talking about?
The Lena the Plug and Adam 22.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, afterwards they had... I didn't steal anything. You just...
I really did think that was like behind a paywall.
No, you just Google it. It's all over the place.
Oh, is that right?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the interview...
Hold on, Brianna, what was your reaction right there? It sounded like you were surprised.
I am.
I just Googled Lena the Plug podcast Briana Copage, and it popped up.
Wow. Ugh. That's so frustrating that people like pirate and steal my content.
I didn't pirate it. Just for the record, I would have.
Plowhawk's done now. Plowhawk's out. I was out on the coffee shop. Plowhawk's out on the pirate. What'll take Jackson out?
I like the sex request with guests.
Well,
make my text with JR a lot hotter.
Pirate, I got to get in there and tape it and post it. I didn't. I just Googled it. It came up. You know, a lot of these things come up, and a lot of people have the wherewithal to make sure it does. No, a lot of people like our friend Princess Feared Adbot.
Our friend. When you say our, it indicates plural.
My friend Princess Feared.
Change your Twitter bio.
Princess Feared Adbot. Fierce Adbot. She goes to lengths to like have people. She has like 10 people she's hired to search the web for her stuff, and if it comes up, they get it taken down immediately.
Boy, she could manage that payroll better.
No, I'm just saying there's a lot of people who don't have time to be
Down to
searching the internet all day to see if their things come up. So I don't know. I didn't steal anything. I just Googled to see if I was actually seeing if there was anything that came up about the article, about the interview and how it went, and just the video came up.
How it went.
I mean, it wasn't like 35 minutes long. It was like maybe a minute and a half, but still, I didn't steal it though, Brianna.
Thank you.
Sir. Briana Copage, our guest here on TMA, and we're talking it over with her. So outside of Adam 22 and Lena, have you been with any of the other mainstream superstars, or that was a one-time thing back to St. Louis and then kind of the community here in the St. Louis area?
Yeah, that was kind of just a one-time thing. Just kind of hanging out with people in the area, really.
Yeah. I recall, if memory serves, Brianna, your husband called in and said that everything was cool at his job, and he was kind of getting applauded when he walked into work after this story broke. But then a few days later, he lost his job. That's right, correct?
Yeah.
So where is he now?
He got in trouble, actually, because he came on your show.
Oh, my God.
So,
another victory for us.
Cost somebody a job.
Yeah, so he just willingly decided to take the winter off and stay out of the cold because he works outside. Right. And he's still doing good. He's going to go back soon, so...
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. He did what?
He's going to go back.
Oh, he is? And he's going to be able to go back to the same employer?
Yeah, well...
Same industry?
Same industry, multiple companies.
Got it. That makes sense. All right. So my whole thing was, once I saw you go on Lena and Adam 22 show, I'm like, oh, they made the decision... Because I remember you were going back and forth on that. They made the decision to take the leap and potentially work with mainstream companies such as Vixen, as you made reference to. But that was just a one-off thing, and you truly, even though I guess it's pretty obvious, you would make even more money by shooting with those, and then that gets you more attention, which then has a correlation to your OnlyFans income. That's just not the route you want to go. I mean, I would imagine there's probably 7 figures plus out there if you chose to do that. But this is a decision you and your husband have made that's not the route that you want to pursue. I mean, am I summarizing that correctly? And if anything's wrong, please correct me.
Yeah, pretty much. We just didn't go that route. I don't know. I don't know if I see myself doing mainstream stuff. It was never really my plan. So, yeah, we just kind of just didn't.
I guess just play. I don't even want to play devil's advocate. I suppose just from this thought process, you're already outed, so it's already out there. So at this point, and there's a shelf life, as there is for a lot of careers. This career, perhaps an even shorter one. Maximize it, and because you're already out, the downside's already there. Maximize it, and then you can go back to doing whatever it is that you want, albeit you recognize that certain professions are just not going to be there because people may not want to hire you or keep you as an employee. So in that analysis that you and your husband discussed, did you think about that part of it? Because let's say there is another $1 million or $2 or $3 or $5 million out there, you're already outed, and then we'll shut it down with this stuff in a year or two, but let's maximize it while the iron's hot, so to speak, and then we'll go back and reevaluate. Did that come into play at all?
Possibly, I guess. But there's also, I don't know how beneficial it would be, because I am already, I have been exposed, probably as much as possible, to shooting with a company. What extra benefit could they bring? I mean, I'm not honestly sure. Because
so you don't think there might not be that much benefit?
I was the top trending search on Pornhub before I was ever even on Pornhub. I don't know. I'm not really sure what extra they could do.
Do you get any money off of Pornhub? I don't know how that works because there's a bunch of videos of you on Pornhub.
So you can monetize. I just have like some clips on there, not full videos. Essentially, if you want to see the full thing, you have to go to my OnlyFans and pay for it. But yeah, I have gotten some money from that. I'm not exactly sure how it works though.
Yeah, they did set up some kind of arrangement with those free sites where but I don't know, like you said, Brianna, I don't know what the arrangement is. But going back to what I was talking about, listen, maybe I'm wrong, and you certainly have talked with people more in the know. I'm sure you talked about it with Adam22 and Lena and maybe others, but my assumption would be you work with the mainstream companies, your profile gets larger, that allows you to command more for your OnlyFans and or scenes, and there is a lot of money in there. That's what I'm thinking. Now, again, I may be wrong, not my industry, but that's what I would think, that you get that more exposure, and all of a sudden now you're in a position where you can charge X, Y, Z, not just for monthly subscriptions, but for the whatever guys think they're texting the girl, and it could just be some guy you hire, or the penis rating pictures. That's a nice cottage industry, I understand.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking, is that there could be a bunch of money there. But like I said, if that's just not your motivation, then God bless.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about it in a couple months, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's going to be next for me.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you, I really feel badly, because going into this conversation, I thought we were just going to be talking about what's going on, and I really thought that you were kind of making the move to the mainstream adult area, whatever that is, in 2024. And instead, it sounds like you're going through a tough time with finding out that you can't really pursue non-adult work because of this thing that happened, 6-7 months ago, still haunting you. And maybe, are you thinking this just might be the way my life is, and you're not going to be able to shake it going forward?
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, especially, I don't know, what's going to happen if I'm waiting for, I feel like I'm just waiting for, the ball to drop or something, and someone's going to report this to the news, and then I'm going to be back in the news. And I just don't know. I don't know, the future is, very unclear right now. I'm trying to figure out what my path forward is, so.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear this. I really am. I can tell you're down about it. That sucks. How's your husband doing with it?
He doesn't he never thought that, well, he was just why do you want to go back to work? You don't need to. And it's just a personal thing. It's just, I feel like I am a better person when I have a job to get up and go to every day, and I'm more motivated and stuff like that. So I don't know.
I think a lot of people are like that. If I was on OnlyFans, and this is just me, but if I was on OnlyFans and was making a ton of money and just did that for a while, I'd miss the show. I'd miss getting up and coming in and doing the show, and just, God, I can sit around until I got to shoot another scene. What am I going to do? I like staying busy, so I can understand you as a teacher. We actually help people. I help nobody on this show, but I could see helping people where you don't get to do that anymore. It's I miss it.
Yeah. Yep. That's kind of where I am.
You ever thought about buying a school?
Oh, God. No one would come to my school.
There's 398 school listings on LoopNet. I don't know what that means. I'm afraid to actually click on it. But
We'll be the broker.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there'd be a lot of people want to come to your school, but the parents wouldn't let them.
I would say now you would have full control. I think it's ridiculous that you can't get a job or keep a job because of what you do in your personal life. It's insane.
Totally agree.
Amen, Posey.
Brianna, always enjoy the conversation with you. I really feel terribly for what has transpired. When did this happen? This just happened within the last week?
I literally was put on leave yesterday.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Wow. And so put on leave means they're going to determine what the future is going forward, or do you think it means termination?
Right. Yeah, they're deciding like whether or not they're going to keep me, which I'm sure they're not.
We got
but-
Briana Copage as our title sponsor if you need any help.
Right, yeah. I do. I am going to seek legal assistance because I just don't think this is right, but we'll see.
It's not. Well, if you need to get out in the sun, we can talk about it later because you said you had a couple of weeks in May that you're out of town, but we have our golf tournament coming up in May. We'd love to have you out there.
Yeah, for sure. When is the date?
Let's see. Let me pull it up to give you the exact ones here, Briana. There will be an announcement, but May 16th and May 17th.
Gotcha. Okay. I will be back. I think I'll be coming back on the 15th. So
Oh, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Look at that, Iggy.
Perfect. You'll have a great time out there. Our listeners are they love you. They're loyal. They're harmless. You'd have fun just sitting in a golf cart. We can have fun out in the sun and just hang out with people. It's a great
You can
couple of days.
swindle those dudes for thousands as well. So I assure you, you're coming out smelling like roses there, Briana.
Right.
We get closer, we'll touch base on that. We'll try to figure that all out.
Yeah, for sure.
Briana, great to talk with you as always.
Absolutely.
Take it easy.
Hang in there, kiddo. We're here if you need anything.
Briana Copage with us here with breaking news that I wasn't expecting to
somber mood
to have.
Yes, everybody will be jumping on this now and getting their own stories.
What do you mean, like the New York Post?
Yeah, again, Post, and then the Post-Dispatch will have something, and some other websites. And I mean, we're the show of record. It's pretty simple when it comes to OnlyFans and porn. We're the show of records.
It's just that simple. And I agree with Iggy.
OnlyFans teacher,
Every
question
time.
mark? Coffee shop, question mark? Click to find out more.
How do you find your partners?
I still...
He wants to be a cuck?
Still, when you said, I just Googled Adam22 and your name, and the video came up, and the reaction
You lost
of
it.
that was one of the funniest things in show history.
Well, I'm sure a lot of them
Oh,
don't.
it is?
I'm sure a lot of them don't know this stuff's happening.
What a performance by Ken on this interview. All-time stuff by Iggy. That's some little Judy Suckins.
Well, he must not have liked it. He's probably being facetious. I thought I asked some good questions.
Sweet Lord, it was like watching an initially small, stupid Hoosier snowball start rolling down a mountain and turn into a massive avalanche of idiot that took out everything in its big orange path. Make it stop! That's from Arbor Day. Boy, all the greats just lined up at the same time. Glove blogger Tom Trave, and wow, Ken gets the game ball for how terrifyingly creepy that was. Perfect mix of Costas-esque level of creepery and just non-unique and dumb business advice. It's glove
coffee
blogger
shop.
Tom Trave.
Yeah, Beans by Briana.
Yeah, I love the title.
Yeah.
You come in to see Briana, she greets you, have a nice cup of coffee, chat, have a patio out there.
Literally a spite store. I think it's great.
Yeah, they just opened that massage parlor next door to us. That was open for a while. She got right there by the fountain.
I'm going to cut that part as well, because there was a funny, like, when Iggy did that, like, 5 minute of explaining what happened in the Google, she goes, I believe you.
That is what
It's like-
happened. I didn't go.
No, I
didn't go
agree with
searching and somebody give me the free stuff. No, it just popped up.
Her reaction is
It's
just
like you
unreal.
type up Briana Copage sex, and there's like 25 videos on Pornhub and all these sites. I'm not putting them there. I haven't watched any of them. I just saw them.
KG No Town said interesting with open eye emojis, and then you may step down.
Yeah, again,
I think that was about the pirating. I didn't pirate it. I just found it online for free. I think that's not an exact
But
quote,
somebody
but
had
that
to put
was
it up there.
paraphrase.
Somebody had to grab it and put it up there. That would be pirating.
I think
just
I'm with
watched it.
Iggy on that as well. It's not like, if you find it for free and you click on it, you click on it.
A million people saw the Aaron Andrews peephole thing. Did everybody get in trouble for that? No, it just popped up. That guy pirated it, and he gave it to somebody, and they released it.
Beer Cats had a question, but we weren't able to get to it. Briana, what are your thoughts on guys who spend their day searching on Google for name the person plus OnlyFans leaks versus paying for said pictures? How does that make you feel? That's from Beer Cats. He won the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month in January 2023.
It's not my fault these people posted. They're not supposed to, but they do.
That's a lie. You did watch it, Strode. You admitted as much during the interview. You pirating mooch. That's from Brian Henshin monitoring the combine.
Yeah, I watched the one that came out from Adam22. I said I don't watch any of the Pornhub ones. And those are free. She's getting paid by Pornhub. I haven't watched any of them.
Slow the tape. Iggy, who openly admits he searched name OnlyFans leak to get free porn, just said he wouldn't not search for her free porn. Get him out of here. That's some pouts lanai.
I didn't have to. It came up.
I have to say, I think Iggy, like from a legal standpoint, they don't think watching something else that someone pirated.
I hope they
I don't
go
know
to
if
the
that's.
court
I
of
don't think there's
law
anything wrong.
You think we're going to go to court?
Iggy goes
Iggy
in
somehow
there and
gets
explains how he got
has to
it.
hold the bag on this one.
It had 1.3 million views. A lot of people are going to have to take to court.
Yeah, I think the
We'll get a
person
big courtroom.
who pirated it is very much in the wrong. People who watch it.
KG in O-Town says, "Arg, ahoy, matey." That's from KG in O-Town. He's just sending in non sequiturs.
That really make a lot of sense. Just go to work. Your real job.
Oh, God.
That was a good interview. We learned a lot in that interview, that she's seemed to be kind of down. And it is maybe kind of a mental health thing. In the winter, she wants to do stuff, and she's in the house. And even if you're filming sex scenes for your thing, you're still, kind of down on the dumps.
You hand me a couple million, the sex is West Coast, I'm never coming back to St. Louis. If you want good weather, there's 8 states that can provide that with ease. And a couple of them have no property, and no income tax or anything.
So I think the variable for her that obviously she doesn't talk about is that she has children.
Yeah.
I get that, yeah.
So you can't just, like if it was just her and her husband, they could just pick up. But the other thing, and this is where I had once she did the Adam 22 Len of the Plug show, I was like, oh, they have decided to go all in, and God bless them. But that actually was not the case. And so, hey, that's obviously her own call. But I thought once she did that, then she's going all in. And that she was also meeting with whoever she met with in L.A., but I know that Caden Cross was supposed to be one of them.
Yeah, somebody from Vixen, I think.
So that's,
that could have been an end to her too. But I guess maybe after the Lean of the Plug thing, she's. I don't want to get into the big time Vixen, all of that stuff. I just like to do my own thing here.
Well, it doesn't sound like she's mentally able to do that sort of porn. I think she likes to control her own content for sure, and I don't know if she wants to go balling deep. I think she was great with, and no pun intended there, obviously. I think she made a good point where she wants to feel validated in her life. And for me, I'm different. I think money would cure mostly all of my issues. However, you still don't know when you do have money what people go through in terms of filling out your day and how you go about spending your time and spending your money.
I didn't follow up with it, but I was kind of. I don't know if I was curious, but when she said she doesn't consider herself a porn star doing OnlyFans. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think that to kind of what Plaza was saying, you make that step, and probably the Len of the Plug M22 Plug Talk show was like a kind of a waiting room in that sense, where you take that step and you go work with Vixen, you are a full-on porn star. If it's hard to get a job now and you do that, it's going to be borderline impossible. So if you have any reservations about making that full jump and you still might want that day job, you might consider other options.
That's why I asked the question that, to me, I know it's very cliche, but you don't put the genie back in the bottle. It's out.
Right.
And while you may hate that it's out, okay, in 5 years, no one's going to care about this as far as making money, but it still will lurk as something that will keep her from getting jobs. So therefore, because of the set of circumstances that she did not ask for, then you go, okay, I got to maximize it. And I thought it was interesting that she really hadn't, but I also get it, but that she hadn't really thought about starting her own business that would allow her to have purpose. And even if it's something where you're going, okay, we're just going to project, relatively speaking, a nominal amount of revenue, it gives you purpose because, again, she doesn't need money.
Right.
So, but then, to play it out, if they're going to continue to live wherever it is that they live, I gather they're in Missouri, then it'd be like, oh, you're not going to do business with
right.
porn star's business, so maybe that isn't a real option, you know what I mean?
Yeah, depending. You're going to have to depend on what city you're living in. I don't know, but it's out towards Sullivan. I don't know what
but
kind
still,
of
you can have an online business. I mean, again, she was a teacher 8 months ago. That doesn't just mean that you can just start up a business, or it may seem intimidating. But if you have capital and you have the drive to do it, then you have two ingredients that oftentimes people just don't have.
Yeah, barrier to entry.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So you could probably do a podcast.
I don't know if the market's really, that's like the coffee shop market. I don't know if there's really a lot of demand.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Margins.
You can always use a coffee shop around.
There's one like a block from here, isn't there?
Like a million.
Starbucks, right?
Yeah,
on the
but I
other
mean,
side of
kind of
Low market share, though. There's still room for growth.
Artesian. Steve Sarkeesian.
Artesian.
Artisan.
Artisan.
I should have just let you go.
Just something. Just a down-home coffee shop.
There you go. Mom and pop. Locally owned.
Mom and pop.
Support local.
Meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes coffee.
Have a few Danish, maybe some scones, nice coffee.
You're used to the plurals than you.
We have
a couple Danish.
We have a couple benches out in the front, kind of like old Appleton's stepdad, just kind of sit out there and drink a coffee and shoot the breeze.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start one.
You're going to open up a coffee shop.
Maybe. My sister wanted to open one in Orlando, and I said, you got the perfect name, because my two nieces' names are Allie and Peyton. I said, here's your coffee shop, Peyton's Alley.
That's good.
Ken Strode just gave us the worst performance in an interview in radio history. I honestly don't know what to think. Is he the greatest human to ever live or the dumbest human to ever live? That's from Harrison's brother, Master.
You're adult.
I wholeheartedly disagree. That was one of the best performances I've ever seen. It's like when Kobe starts biting his jersey.
Yeah, the coffee shop thing was kind of stupid. And the
Disagree.
But I thought it was a decent interview. Tim held it up more than I did, but he saved it, actually. But I thought some of my questions were good.
Just pivoting briefly off of Briana Copage.
Sonny Gray news.
Sonny Gray has a mild hamstring strain per John Mozeliak. Getting him ready for opening day is now, quote, in question and, quote, challenging. Starting the year on the IL as possible. Yeah. And we're underway.
Love it.
John Denton tweeting, we have had some encouraging news. That's from John Mozeliak. Boy. I know that this is you don't need to do much work for at least the first half hour balloon party. This is the kind of thing that alienates a fan base. And I know it might seem like a real minor thing, but there is no way that if I'm the president of baseball operations or the president of any organization, honestly, where you just acknowledge that a guy who you named your opening day starter 5 days ago and might start the season on IL, and then you say, quote, we have had some encouraging news. You can't do that. You're insulting the intelligence of your fan base. That's just it's bad PR. It's bad basic interactional behavior between humans. You can't have that happen, and it's such a self-informed. Like if not that I would ever be in that spot, but if somebody who was representing a business I had went out and said something like that to my customers. And I'd be like, hey man, that isn't the way you handle it. You can't say we've had some encouraging news and then also in the same exchange say his opening day is now in question and it's going to be challenging and starting on the year on the IL is a possibility. You just can't do that.
Unencouraging.
But that's the spot they're in, and that is why, and again, I realize, I think in a weird way, and I'm not saying it's good, it's really not a pleasant way to go, but the whole thing at winter warm-up when they were talking about how exciting it is that Yadi's back, and I'm going, crap, they've got nothing because Yadi is not back. Daniel Descalzo's back. Mm-hmm. Yadi's in Puerto Rico and doesn't really have a whole lot of interest in spending time in St. Louis. And by the way, God bless him. It's almost like a ceremonial scout role. Right. But they were spinning it into this bigger thing than it was because they kind of got nothing. And here you have what could be a significant set of circumstances that on March 5th, a game that is 3 weeks away, he may not be able to make the start, and it's going to be quote-unquote challenging, and you're going to say that's an encouraging news. I mean, from the MRI, we're definitely encouraged. Well, how can you be encouraged if a guy who missed time in just 2 seasons ago with this same hamstring on March 5th isn't going to be able to pitch for the remainder of spring training, which then compromises his ability to be ready whenever it is that he makes his first regular season start. And this isn't the biggest deal in the world, but the issue the Cardinals have right now is you have a fan base that oftentimes will eat up whatever it is that they say, but they've insulted them so much with so much stuff that is not accurate over the years that fans are finally going, okay, now the fan base doesn't believe anything, even if they are telling the truth. And this is just another example of you can't call him, unless he's like, oh, maybe he's done for the season with the hamstring. So then, relatively speaking, the fact that he only might miss the start of the season's a positive. But 24 hours ago, you were thinking Sonny Gray's the opening day starter, and now it's encouraging that he might only miss Well, that he might start the season on the IL.
What's encouraging is his leg's not being amputated, and he's alive. So there are encouraging signs from the MRI. He's actually breathing. I think they're losing the fan base, and they're not going to fully lose this fan. I mean, they're embedded into this city. But I think the DeWitts and Mo, starting last year, continuing this year for what you did in the offseason, they're going to feel it and hear it more than they ever have.
Oh,
and I'm curious to how they handle that, because you're not going to have back-to-back-to-back seasons or whatever be if it goes into this year or next year of 80 wins, 82 wins, 78 wins. Like, that's not going to get it done. And they clearly don't want to spend money or have certain number in mind about their cap space. That's fine, but...
And you mentioned Yachty a minute ago, and I don't know if it was Jeff Jones or Katie Wu or Jenton. I swore I saw a tweet, and I'm paraphrasing because it was a few days ago, maybe 5 or 6 days ago. They said Yachty is expected in camp next week. Not sure if he'll be working with the players or not. Where else would he be going?
Well, he hasn't told them what he's doing.
Dropping by. I mean, Ozzie Smith. Is Ozzie Smith also a coach now? Because Ozzie Smith's there every year, and he's actually working with the. And by the way, Yadier Molina doesn't owe them anything. My issue is that the organization, or specifically Mozeliak, who again I actually do like, but I have a responsibility to give my professional observation on this, and I just think he makes missteps. That they were selling this Yadier Molina thing like he was going to be a bench coach. But he's not. He's not even in camp, and they're 3 weeks in, and they've played however many games. So I don't know. And I don't know how you can sit there and tell the fan base when truly the one player, from my standpoint, I mean, I know you could make a case for Arenado or Goldschmidt, I suppose, that you cannot afford to lose this year. I don't even know how it would be open to it. Because you could make a case that if Goldschmidt got hurt, you could move around pieces and Jordan Walker could go here and whatever it would be. But you can't replace the ace.
Yeah.
And he's now in question as to whether or not he'll start the regular season on the IL. And it's an injury that he went on the IL for twice in Minnesota in 2022. And you start the thing off by calling it encouraging. I guess here's the reason why I go. The read is it conveys fear because you're overplaying your hand. That's the psychoanalysis that I'm not even doing. It's just an intuitive reaction. This is disappointing news because Sonny is going to miss some time. At the same time, there was a chance that could have been more severe. So from that standpoint, it's good news. But to lose our ace and not have him pitching in spring training and maybe not at the start of the season, certainly that's disappointing. To start it off by saying it's encouraging just conveys that you're concerned. That's how I take it. I mean, again, maybe I'm off the mark on it, but I've been covering the team for a quarter century. I have a base of knowledge. And that's what pisses people off. And that's why Doug Armstrong, even though he's got this potentially monstrous albatross on his resume and Jordan Kyrou, has credibility because it's a more direct style of communication. So oftentimes, it's not necessarily the actual message, it's the way with which the message is delivered that develops credibility and or destroys it. Anyway, I got live reads I got to do. I just got to do them. Jackson, you tell me about things.
I'll tell you about things. I'll tell you about Circa. The world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is now in Illinois. The Circa Sports app is sports betting the way it should be, with big app bets, high betting limits, tight money line splits, and the best customer service around. You want to talk to a chatbot if you ever run into any issues that keep those money line splits tight and they don't limit their bettors. And on top of that, we got March Madness right around the corner. So much fun to bet on while you're betting underdogs, over and unders, futures. It doesn't matter. Circa Sports is the place to do it over there in Illinois. Visit circasports.com for more details and get ready to start betting like a pro. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
One of the best gifts you can give is the Just Because gift. Not one that you're giving for a holiday, not one that you're giving for an anniversary, not one that you're giving for a birthday, but just because you appreciate that person in your life. Well, that's where Glenn Betts Jewelers comes into play. Glenn Betts Jewelers, in business in St. Louis since 1941 and operated by the third and fourth generation of the Betts family. The Glenn Betts difference is you're served personally, not sold. They get to know your likes, your lifestyle, and who and what you love. Those are the 3 L's. They're operated by Craig Betts, third generation, David Betts, fourth generation. Go online at glennbettsjewelers.com. They're located 1 mile east of 270 on Manchester into Paris. It's glennbettsjewelers.com. just because. And Jackson, if you could tell me your side of the St. Louis hair restoration, and then I will do the design, air, heating, and cooling email today, and then we'll do a balloon party.
Yeah, no problem. You can take a look on YouTube right now if you're watching the
and it looks
stream.
incredible.
Yeah, we're seeing some movement right here, taking a little more thickness in the crown, the hairline staying pat, and that's thanks to our friends over at St. Louis Hair Restoration. They got me on the finasteride, just a generic form of Propecia, and this laser cap that I wear. So all in all, about 6 minutes of work, and we're really seeing some results. It's super easy, and it's because I went over and got a hair consultation with St. Louis Hair Restoration, where you can get a free one, and you just say TMA, and I'll get you $250 off a hair treatment with St. Louis Hair Restoration.
Time for the design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. Stand on business. Well, if the business is HD2, then Tim McKernan is winning it at it. But this email is about yesterday's suspension suggestion. Guess what, Jackson? You want me to write erotic emails? You need me to write erotic emails. But this email is really about laughing, crying, and praying. 1979, my buddy Butchie's brother Curtis was in town for Mineral Area College's spring break. He thought he was all that because he had been slaying the ladies at school. And after all of his bragging, it got to the point where he needed to be taught a lesson. So me and my buddies called in the big guns. And by big guns, I mean our other buddy, Zachary, because Zachary had an absolute massive trouser monkey. We all laughed at Curtis's astonished face when Zachary just whipped that thing out. The crying started when Zachary took him from behind with only Curtis's built-up internal loaf as his natural lubricant. Holy sweet mother.
Oh, man.
And the praying was in the form of begging for mercy from 15 minutes of Zachary giving him the sweet corn fisherman special, informally welcoming him to Brown University. That's from Drew, and then his last name is Peacock. Nice to have him listening. And Young, the Strode man, really knows how to step on a poignant moment. Jesus. Tim asking Briana about not being able to get a regular job because of her involvement with OnlyFans, a line of questioning that ties in with underlying issues such as teachers' pay. And then Ken follows up with a question about Pornhub leaks or something wholly irrelevant. Tim goes back later in the interview and empathizes with her about what's happened. Again, poignant and emotional, the sort of radio brilliance we've come to expect from such a radio hero. Pockets pops in with something about himself. Stack those two moments with him admitting to pirating her pornography and then racing backwards when he heard her reaction was just, wow. And before you whine, Ken, no, you may not have pirated, but you're supporting the pirates, which is an equally strange thing to admit. Good Lord. Thanks, stay creepy. Number one Asian intern, Brian Henshin, a.k.a. ASMR Ting Ting 2.0. Come on by, drop $1 in the bucket, and I'll whisper through my combine takes. Beware the pirates. Arg.
Brian Henshin.
Welcome, Andy, to the 8 o'clock uninterrupted Strode Story Hour, sponsored by Fantastical Fish Company. Do you want to watch emphysema in the human form cook sludge salmon in a cast iron skillet filled with country crock with a 90% chance of conflicts with neighbors? Cooking with Ken every week live on Instagram. Make sure you get there early because usually there's 3 to 4 people in there in the first 15 minutes. My favorite moment of the show today, when the sponsor came in and forced Iggy to sit in the chair 5 looking like Mickey Carroll in backseat with Timberfake and Mike Lee on their way to watch 10 Show-Me's waitresses with soon-to-be dead grandparents get berated by a soon-to-show-her starfish via text porn star with Todd Wellemeyer and Colby Erasmus hammered drunk on stage. The thought of a 10-year-old Iggy doing a book report on the work ethic of Hugh Hefner. And the shaming of sex workers in between, setting the barefoot 400-meter dash record and shooting an elderly German woman in the neck with a BB gun is a fun little made-up memory. Make sure you text KG and see if he's available to do the show tomorrow when Iggy Carroll inevitably calls in because he threw his shoulder out, reaching a few inches up to grab his coffee off the dais. That's from my team. Good. We don't really need a pop, blueberry pop. And finally, be curious, not judgmental. It's how I like to live my life. It's a wonderful life lesson I learned from the 1992 youth soccer film Ladybugs, starring Rodney Dangerfield and the delectable Jonathan Brandis. I know a lot about manipulating Shishawali Listener of the Month competitions, and it's great. How's Jackson Burkett? We're going to bring that back? How about that whole deal? Nothing against Mr. Smith. He's a nice man, and he has pulled the curtain back on the local swinging scene. And he did offer to bring Iggy coffee after Iggy called him out by name as someone he trusts not to tamper with his coffee. But Stephen Wildwood actually paid for the coffee, and Stephen Wildwood gave a heartfelt call about gambling addiction. Granted, he sounded like he was calling from the moon. And what about Kevin Miller, who was Emailer of the Month for the first time since October 2022? It's less about the result than the process. Jackson basically chooses the winner, creates a little poll, gets Plowsy and Iggy to just vote for the same person, then mumbles something about a quorum while Tim and Doug are completely shut out of the process. He's a horse's ass for doing that!
You want to put up some money and I'll show you how it's done? Like, you just say
Buck
things.
Swope.
You can just say, I mean, I know you're just poking fun, but like you can say whatever, but I do my job correctly.
How about that?
Well, this is like a real competition. Like, don't say I cheat.
Let's say you went to Brown and you only lined up the OnlyFans teacher for an interview, and upon learning that was just fired from her second teaching job, you recommended she open an unprofitable coffee shop business where creeps like yourself could creep on her in person, and then you upset her when you revealed that you saw her porn shoot with Adam 22 and let her the plug without paying for it, and then compared it to the Aaron Andrews peephole leak, which resulted in a $55 million judgment, the stalker who secretly recorded it. Does that make you a yuppie, preppy, or a Hoosier? And that's from Buck Swope. And that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. What you got?
Pop. My team good. We don't really need a pop.
I like Kevin Miller. I like if you don't have lube, you just use your Brown. Well, I mean, they all sucked. They all sucked.
Blueberry Pop has now won 3 straight to start the month. Jackson and I have won because we're going to go do Balloon Party now, and then we're doing QFTA at 11:25. YouTube.com/TMASTL. It'll be in your TMA podcast feed, the Tim McKernan Show. Balloon Party coming up. Switch your YouTube over to 101 ESPN time for us to go relate. Bye.
Yeah,